Adam, thanks. Berkeley, California, at Cal Memorial Stadium for a Pac-12 After Dark matchup tonight between the Oregon Ducks and the California Golden Bears. Kickoff coming up in just moments. It's the first of 5 games in the Pac-12 this weekend. You see Washington and Washington State still undefeated in conference play. In that North Division, Cal at 1-2, while Oregon winless on the season so far and seeking their first Pac-12 victory tonight. And hello from Berkeley, I'm Alan Bestwick, joined by College Football Hall of Famer, former Oregon head coach Mike Bellotti, uniquely qualified to talk about what in the world is going on here. Here the Ducks, who played for the national championship 2 years ago, come in 0-3 in conference play on their first 4-game losing streak in a decade. How did this happen?
Well, it started with the inability to develop a quarterback from within the system. They've had to rely on graduate transfers the past couple of years. It hasn't worked out very well. The other thing is right now they've had 3 defensive coordinators in 4 years. It's hurt their recruiting evaluation. It's hurt the performance on the field. But finally, maybe the most important thing is, does this team want to win? Do they care anymore? There's a rumor, perception maybe that they don't give as much as effort as they need.
All right, so that's a pretty long list of things. How do they fix it for tonight and for the future?
Well, the first fix is Justin Herbert. He's a true freshman quarterback that they believe can be the spark they need on offense, have him play faster and make some plays. Brady Hoke, a defensive coordinator they trust. He's transitioning to the 4-3 defense. That's going to take some years to recruit. But in watching the team on film, they didn't see a lack of effort. What they saw was a lack of execution, and they believe that can be fixed.
So this is a fan base that's used to its team winning a lot of games. How hot is Mark Helfrich's seat as head coach?
Well, publicly, certainly I think people are talking about this and some of the Johnny-come-latelys. But internally, I think the administration is going to look and see how this season ends. Do the team respond to the challenge of playing hard, competing? And I think he's got enough cachet at this point, in my mind, to be okay.
All right, to compete hard tonight, they're going to have to compete against one of the Pac-12's top offenses and top offenses in the nation, the California Golden Bear offense, led by graduate transfer quarterback Davis Webb.
Davis Webb is a coach's son. He's an unbelievable student of the game. Starts watching film about 8 in the morning. He's got big hands for the quick release, which is necessary for the Bear Raid offense.
So the Bear Raid headed by the Cal head man, Sonny Dykes. There you see his record. Cal undefeated at home this season, 2-0 here at Memorial Stadium. And so we'll see how things go tonight as they continue to try and keep the O in the loss column at home. We've talked about Mark Helfrich already and his record. Again, played for the national championship just a couple of years ago, but certainly it has been a season of struggle so far for Helfrich and his staff and team on the road tonight here in Berkeley. Oregon won the toss. They will receive the opening kickoff on what is just a splendid Friday night weather-wise here in the Bay Area.
It's an awesome night, and it's interesting that they want the ball, because a lot of times you defer when you're on the road, but they want to get that young quarterback started very quickly.
Lined up on the wrong end, I believe, from what the coin toss outcome was, so they'll switch ends. Haven't seen that one in a long time.
Yeah, that's a lot of guys. That's 22 guys not figuring it out, too. And the coaches are saying, wait a second, I wanted the other end. Come on.
Our first argument of the night with the officials comes before we even have the opening kickoff. Might be a new track record there. I'm just saying. Well, it's an interesting game because you look at this. These are 2 high-scoring, high-potent offenses, and even with Oregon's struggles this year, still a high-scoring offense against 2 defenses who really have struggled. And those who track such things say we're going to see a lot of points scored in this game tonight.
I actually believe the defense that shows up tonight and gets the most stops is going to be the victor in this game.
So ball in the air, and we are ready to go here at Oregon. Tony Brooks-James with it. And a seam up the sideline, though flags come flying from about 3 different directions. Brooks-James knocked down at the 34-yard line, but I suspect they're going to give some of them back. Oregon, one of the most...
During the return, holdings, receiving team number 17, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Oregon, the most penalized team in yards per game in the Pac-12. And so now that freshman quarterback, Justin Herbert from Eugene, comes onto the field. Kind of a sneaky recruit, if you will, right under their noses. They were one of the few that pursued him to bring him into this Duck team.
Sheldon High School right there in Eugene, multi-sport athlete. His mobility should help this offense, but the key is how he handles the pressure.
Will throw on his first play out wide side, reached down and grabbed for a quick catch by Johnny Munt, the tight end. Herbert is 6'6" tall. He's big. And the coaches admit they kind of threw him into a tough situation against Washington for his first start in that last game. One of the country's top teams, as we now know. That's another thing they expect that Herbert will do better than most people believe, is run the ball.
Yeah, it was a baptism under fire against Washington. Tonight, sometimes they say, get the quarterback out, let him get that first hit under his belt so he feels like what it's going to be like, and then just go turn him loose.
I love coaching terms because they both, the offensive coordinator and the head coach, both talked about his athleticism. I said, you mean his ability to run?
Yeah, and make plays and stay alive in the pocket. There's Royce Freeman, I believe, in his first carry
late
tonight.
Flag came in. Very late flag came in on that one. And that might come back after.
Personal foul. Illegal hands to the face. Defense number 18. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Oh, went the other way. Marleshon Franklin tagged for the foul for Cal, and so they'll move the sticks on the penalty yardage for Oregon.
Art Kaufman talked about the fact that they could not have penalties on defense because that was what exactly stopped or kept them on the field. Watch right here, right in the center of the field here.
Yeah, right side of the screen.
Really
going out of the frame. Yeah, Franklin got his hands up. So first down for Oregon. Ball out to the 39-yard line. And here comes Tony Brooks-James. And jumped on pretty quickly by James Looney for Cal. This Cal defense banged up through the center, missing a couple of their defensive tackles and defensive ends for tonight's game.
Sonny Dykes talking about the idea that your defense, as you said, want to be strong up the middle like a baseball team. They're down several defensive tackles, several safeties, hoping to hang on.
Herbert with time. Throws in the intended direction of Charles Nelson, but some nice defense there by Darius Allensworth for Cal, and it brings up 3rd and short.
There, unfortunately, Justin Herbert demonstrated his youth. He had time outside to let something more develop. He was outside the pocket. They tried to throw it into a very tight window.
Just under 46% converting 3rd down for the Ducks. They'll convert this one as the ball thrown to Charles Nelson across midfield. First down, Oregon.
You know what's interesting? Watching him throw, he used to have more foot movement. I think he's taken after Dakota Prukup, who has helped him a lot in this transition for him being the starter.
So they move the chains, and now we'll try and crank the tempo a little bit. Something the Ducks want to do tonight. Get a little bit faster with the offense. Here's Brooks-James. Gets the edge. And gets a bunch. Tiptoes the sidelines. He stepped out of bounds inside the 5 at the 2. Finally caught up to and run out there by Marleshon Franklin.
Tony Brooks-James is the speed quotient in that backfield. They've got a lot of thunder and lightning. He's the lightning.
Explosive plays, the ones for 20 yards or more. They got one there. And going to get our first video review of the night coming up here. Ooh, that one might come back. Might. Is it indisputable video evidence?
Well, you know what? It's hard to tell. Does anything land on that white outside?
The white shoe against the green grass might help some. But let's see. Our referee tonight is Steve Strimling. The replay official is Jim Northcutt from the Pac-12. And games here at Cal do have the ability to go back to the Pac-12 Command Center as part of a collaborative replay process.
That's way back at the first down marker, which is quite a ways. So this could be a huge loss.
I think that shoe is on the sideline.
Yeah, it's pretty hard. I'll let the officials decide that one because I can't tell. And I'm not biased one way or the other in this one.
Standard of evidence, indisputable video evidence beyond all doubt. So we await the first ruling of the night. Here it comes right now.
After review, it's been determined the runner stepped out of bounds at the 37-yard line. It will be 1st and 10 at that point. Please reset the game clock to 13 minutes and 2 seconds. 13:02, please.
So scratch that one from the explosive play column, but still a first down for Oregon.
But it's still got to scare Art Kaufman and the Cal Bears. He talked about the fact they need to get simple on defense so they can read and react. Align, assign, and then execute and tackle well in space. None of those things happen on that play.
The Cal defense last in the Pac-12 and one of the last in the nation against the run. Freeman got nothing before he was dropped by Devontae Wilson. I mentioned some of the numbers on the Cal defense rather. There it is. The Oregon offense versus the Cal defense. There are 128 teams
in
FBS football.
You're right, and it's strength versus weakness. Well, Oregon last time rushed for over 300 yards against Cal. Obviously, they want to keep the ball on the ground tonight.
Nothing for Freeman. Herbert will throw. It will be over the top of intended receiver Evan Bayless and incomplete, and set up a 3rd and long for the Ducks.
3rd and long with a young quarterback. You're going to try to maybe move the pocket, not have him succumb to any type of pressure from the defense. Get a route he really likes, something he's comfortable with.
Give it to Freeman. See if he can get the edge. He'll get nothing. Nicely contained on the far side by Darius Allensworth, the junior, who kept the edge protected.
Obviously wanted to take the pressure off of the young quarterback, but I'm not sure that this run or this choice by Freeman to take it outside, they were hoping to get it right up the middle like a draw play. Instead, great play on the outside, the tackle, and really a loss there.
Yeah, that might not have been the best choice. Yeah, and you see Freeman tapping his chest saying, my bad. So the punt team on for the Ducks. Ian Wheeler will kick. Vic Wharton will be back deep for the Cal offense. Wheeler's kick a little too far, and Cal's offense will come onto the field for the touchback. So the Bear Raid comes onto the field. Davis Webb, the graduate transfer quarterback, of course, started his career at Texas Tech and transferred here for this season. Came here in the middle of May and began working with some of his receivers right away. And you see he's one of the best in the nation in all the passing categories.
Well, he tried to be a great teammate. He's done this before. He transferred previously, but he's a student of the game, a coach's son. Comes in and starts watching film about 8 in the morning. He's got big hands, which allows him to do the quick release stuff they love in this offense. He's accurate. He understands offense, and more importantly, he understands defense.
Hurt his thumb in their last game against Oregon State. Says he's good to go. When we met with him yesterday, he'll be without one of his top receivers, actually his top receiver tonight. More on that in a minute. First pass complete, far side. It's Raymond Hudson who gets the first grab of the night from Webb. Chad Hansen also injured late in that Oregon State game, and Hansen on the sidelines tonight. He sprained his ankle. He did not warm up. He'll not play.
That's a big loss for the Cal Bear Raid defense. Offense, excuse me.
Webb dumps it inside. Kalfani Mohammed's got some room. Nice game, but a flag is down in the offensive backfield.
Holding. Offense number 64. 10-yard penalty. Replay the down.
That is the right tackle, Stephen Moore, the senior.
Jake Spavital, their offensive coordinator, wants to run 85+ plays a game. They don't want penalties that put them in long yardage situations or take away their opportunity to operate at pace.
So back him up now to the 15-yard line. There's Spavital in his first year here at Cal as offensive coordinator. Came from Texas A&M, where he was the offensive coordinator there for the past 3 years. Son of a high school coach. Webb with time. Throws and a little out in front of the intended receiver on the far side. That was Demetrius Robertson.
Oregon playing man-free defense. That means that look for rub routes or pick routes by the Cal offense down the road, especially in 3rd and long. They got to shake somebody loose. Look for the seam or a crossing route down the field.
So 3rd and very long here for the Bears. Dumps it off to Muhammad. Pursued and slowed up initially by Daquan McDowell, and A.J. Hotchkins finished him off, and it brings up a 4th down, and the punt team will come on for Cal.
Good example of the Ducks playing leverage there. They had to throw the ball underneath. They rallied to tackle the guy short of the 1st down. That's something you haven't seen a lot from this Duck defense this year.
So Darren Carrington back to receive Dylan Klump's punt. There is Carrington. Klump, one of the Ray Guy Award candidates. 3rd best average in the Pac-12 at this point in the season. Carrington drops it. Ball on the ground. A Cal player had a chance to get it, but I don't know that he did. Let's see what happens here. They signal Oregon ball.
Mark Helfrich talked about the fact that the special teams he thought was their advantage tonight had to be something that made a difference in this game. That is not the type of play he wants.
Kolana Apelu, 39, looks like he's got his arms around the ball. A Cal player had a chance to get it when it bounced off of Carrington, but didn't manage to wrap it up under the bottom of the pile. So breathe out, Oregon fans. Got away with one. A Friday night fight in the Pac-12 between a couple of teams who really could use a win. Oregon and Cal scoreless here in this 1st quarter. Oregon gets the ball for its 2nd possession after the fumble on the punt return. Justin Herbert hands off to Royce Freeman. One of the top rushers in the country has been bottled up so far. No gain on that 1st down. So Herbert in for his 2nd start. Dakota Prukop, the graduate transfer who came over and started the first 5 games of this season, now finds himself in a supporting role.
His statistics are very good. They just didn't have the spark. They didn't quite win, and they just tried really to change to get Herbert in there and see what it would do.
And again, nothing there for Royce Freeman. The coaches talked about needing a spark. How do you get a spark by changing the quarterback?
Well, there were 2 things. Dakota missed a couple of throws in games that might have made a big difference. He also never achieved the type of tempo the offensive coaches wanted. They felt they could get that with Justin Herbert.
They've got a 3rd down here after 2 unsuccessful running plays. Herbert will throw downfield. Receiver had a step. Did Nelson pull that in? No, it hit the ground. He came back around Allensworth for the ball and almost had a chance to pull it in.
Charles Nelson is the most explosive player and most dangerous weapon that Oregon has. The problem is he has limited range. He's not very tall, about 5'8". See him go up. I'd say that probably was interference right there. They're very fortunate, the Cal Bears, that there was not a interference penalty called.
Yeah, I think they got away with one there. So the punt team is on again. Ian Wheeler will kick. Vic Wharton will be back deep to get the kick for Cal. Wharton signals fair catch and makes it at the 28-yard line. That's where the Bears offense will take over. Chris Budden is down on the field for us tonight. She's on the Oregon sideline right now. Hi, Chris.
Hi. Well, you talked about the 4-game losing streak for Oregon, and their frustrations reached a tipping point 2 weeks ago when Cameron Hunt, the offensive lineman for Oregon, called out his team after the loss to Washington, saying 30 to 40% of their teammates didn't care if they win or lose. Well, so Mark Helfrich held an entire team meeting for everyone to air out their frustrations. He said no one really took that seriously because they knew it was about emotion. He says he likes where his team is at right now. Said a lot of great talking. We just have to do some doing now.
Oregon player down on the 1st down carry by Trey Watson. Injury timeout here. So, Mike, you've been through some of these. There's Cam Hunt on the bench. You've been through some of these situations before. You've had a 5-game losing streak with the Ducks in your 2nd season at Oregon. Getting the team together, meeting, and so on. What's that going to accomplish?
Well, hopefully what you do, and I met first individually with every player on the team and found out who they were and what they thought about this program, what their role was. And then that didn't work. We lost the game after that, and then I met with everybody again, and we did what I call unity meetings. We tried to get everybody going in the same direction, respecting everybody's involvement. 3 wins and then 5 straight losses, and finished with 3 straight wins to be bowl eligible. But I think it was a turning point in my career because I realized that no matter how much talent you have to have players who like each other, respect each other, and will go to war for each other.
That was 1996, as you see the injured Oregon player being helped off the field, Drayton Carlberg, the redshirt freshman from Minneapolis. So you had another similar situation a decade later in 2006 where you had a little losing streak and had to get the team sorted out again.
Yeah, talking about all my losing streaks, I love this. I mean,
I know.
No, I'll tell you what, though.
It all worked out.
We had a very poor bowl game, and I'll tell you about what we did to that after this play.
Second down and 10 for Cal. And Watson will get another carry and get some yards up the middle. Nice gain. Gets about 6 on that one. So 2006.
We had a bowl game loss to BYU in the Las Vegas Bowl that I couldn't stomach. I finally said we got to do something. I kidnapped the team, planned an intervention where we wrote all the things we liked about the program up the wall, all the things we didn't like, and then the solutions to the things that we did not like. At the end of that meeting, we burned all the things we didn't like because we believed in the solutions. From that meeting came the motto or slogan, win the day. We went on to win 9 games the next year, 10 games a year after that, and compete down the road for the national championship.
Really nice fight for the first down there by Melquise Stovall to move the chains for Cal. Set him up at the 40-yard line. And Watson will rumble along. So you kidnapped the team. Basically, you took them to a camp and away from campus for the weekend. Just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah.
And so the outcome was
basically positive. I felt like the coaches and the team, everybody got to say their piece. Everybody was equal in that meeting. And I think a lot of players didn't believe that was really going to happen, but we treated everybody equally, and they had their say and got their word in.
So that's the challenge that Mark Helfrich has faced with the bye week after the disappointing crushing by Washington. And they think that they've solved a lot of things for this team. Their opportunity to prove it is 60 minutes on the field tonight. Davis Webb drops it off. Popped in the backfield was Jordan Vesey. Nice defensive play by Daquan McDowell, who got the start tonight. 54 for the Ducks.
One of the things on both sides of the ball for both of these teams is to simplify. When you get people hurt and you have to play younger players with less experience, simplify what you do so they can play fast, get their eyes right, be in the right place.
Another third down here for Cal.
See the safety's really deep for Oregon, rotating over to the 3 receiver side.
So they'll give it to Watson. He'll have the first down and a bunch. Good open field tackle by Brendan Schooler, the freshman safety. But Watson moves the chains for the Golden Bears.
Nice call by the OC Spavital. Saw them in a defense, and the defensive line has to cancel the run first. No matter what they think they see, they still have to play run first and then react to the pass.
Going for it down the sideline. A lot of hand fighting going on. No flag comes in. Raymond Hudson and Ugo Amadi for Cal and Oregon respectively.
A lot of trickeration going on in the backfield there to take away from the fact it's just a one-on-one route down the field trying to get it, and I think Amadi did a nice job of fighting off the receiver, beginning his head back to look for the ball.
He also had a handful of jersey, though. Don't know if you caught that.
Yeah, I did see it, but obviously
the official didn't.
Yes.
Malik McMorris was in, perhaps as a decoy, as a tight end. Ball loose, out of bounds, but after the reception was made by Brandon Singleton, Cal will have close to first down yardage, but got a little work to do here on third down.
Cal has so much depth at wide receiver. They've got 5 or 6 guys who can all play, and they're all dangerous with the ball in their hands.
So Muhammad in as the setback on third down, and they need 3. Will have it. Slices his way for the first down. Khalfani Muhammad, the senior from Englewood, who had just a spectacular game last time out at Oregon State.
Sonny Dykes made a great point in our meeting. He loves to run the ball. He loved to be balanced. He said if I could, I'd run it 70% of the time. I don't feel we have that kind of people up front, so that's why we rely on the pass, but he loves to be balanced in terms of his attack.
Empty backfield. Webb throws to a wide open receiver in the middle of the field. Jordan Vesey just couldn't keep his feet, but he has the Golden Bears down at the 5-yard line for a first and goal.
That was a unique formation. Maybe we'll get a chance to diagram it later.
Go quickly, throw it outside. Vesey again, spins away. Flag comes in. We wait for the signal. They have not signaled touchdown yet.
I think that's going to be a hold on the receiver out there blocking. Cal goes so fast. One of the things
Holding.
is
Offense number 8, 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
That's
Robertson, excuse me.
Yeah, that's the challenge for the defense, is to get lined up, get your eyes right, and react to the speed of the play. See on the outside right there, and blocking the back and sort of a tackle, and unfortunately the official was right there to call it.
So instead of putting 6 points on the scoreboard, they back the Golden Bears up to the 15-yard line, and it's 1st and goal from there. Watson back in the game. Looking for some running room. Nothing doing on that far side. Austin Malawata was there for the Ducks. Wraps him up for no gain.
Nice job by the Duck front, keeping their heads in the gap, keeping gap integrity. As that ball went to the sideline, you've got to make sure you pursue and keep leverage.
So 2nd and goal. Actually lost a yard on that one. Watson again, up the gut. Still going, dropped at the 10-yard line after a 6-yard gain by A.J. Hotchkiss. Somebody's helmet came off. That would be Elijah George, who has to come out of the game for Oregon.
And that was great pad level by the Cal offensive line and very poor pad level interior-wise for the Ducks. They got pushed back for 6 yards straight ahead. So down there, 6 yards is huge.
Here is 3rd and goal from the 10. Webb throws the fade. Touchdown! Raymond Hudson with the Cal Bears score. Is that Hudson or Robertson?
I think that's Robertson.
That's Robertson.
Nice.
I thought it was 11.
Perfectly thrown ball, and Robertson has the speed to separate from the DB, even though it's a very short distance there. Great throwing ball in terms of right into the corner.
Matt Anderson's point after is good. Can you believe we got less than 5 minutes to go in this quarter, and we just saw the first points, but they belong to the Cal Bears.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by the strikingly designed Lexus NX Turbo and Hybrid. Some things are simply impossible to ignore. And Keeping Up with the Joneses, now playing only in theaters.
What a beautiful sunset. That's looking from Cal Memorial Stadium back out across Berkeley and across San Francisco Bay. Just a spectacular sight for a football Friday night. Perhaps you're out and about on this Friday watching us on the ESPN app or on Watch ESPN. If you had to be out and about tonight, could you watch us? Yes, if you download the app, go to watchespn.com today. Watch all of our college football games on this massive upcoming busy weekend. So a 13-play, 74-yard drive, penalties notwithstanding. And the touchdown pass from Davis Webb to the freshman Demetrius Robertson. And Cal has a 7-0 lead. Short kick will be fair caught, and Oregon will take over at its 27-yard line. Let's go back and check in with Adnan Burke.
Thank you very much, Alan. Just want to keep you posted what's happening on ESPN2 at 5-1 San Diego State off to its best start since 1977. Christian Chapman and David Wells. What if they call him Boomer as well? Aztecs up early on ESPN2, Alan.
Ooh, little baseball reference in there. Nice, nice.
You love baseball. Come on.
I do, yes. Usually when a team is wearing a certain color uniform, though. So Oregon now needs to answer. Justin Herbert throws, complete to the far side, Charles Nelson, but he is quickly wrapped up and dropped by Josh Drayden for Cal. Short gain, 2nd down.
Very tight coverage. Cal is playing tight on 1st down to try to stop the run, so they're man-to-man on the outside.
I guess they'll give him about 5 with forward progress. Herbert throws again, near side, that is off the fingertips of Pharaoh Brown, who just couldn't pull it in. And it's 3rd down for the Ducks, just like that.
You got it, you know, one of the things, 3rd and 5 here, young quarterback. If you're seeing man coverage, you think about slant routes or combination rub routes on the outside. He'll run.
And he'll make the line to gain. So the athleticism on display there for Justin Herbert.
And I think a little bit of blocking by Royce Freeman there. He became a lead blocker. They noticed the wide splits to widen the defense out, too, for that play.
So after the first down, they try and crank the tempo. Here comes Freeman. Fighting forward. And a nice gain, his best of the night so far for Royce Freeman. The leading rusher who's been hobbled for about 3 games now. The Nebraska game, the Colorado game he didn't play, didn't get anything going against Washington last game out.
He's been hampered since the Nebraska game, as you said. He looks a step slow to me tonight.
This is Tony Brooks-James in now. Fighting forward, very close to the line to gain, but they're going to mark him about a yard short. It'll be 3rd and very little for Oregon as Brooks-James now limps off to the near side.
They can ill afford to lose 2 backs or have less than that. They could be with Mark Helfrich in 4-down territory here.
Taj Griffin into the game with the ball for the Ducks. He'll have the first down. And more. Flags come in. I think this one's going to come back. Let's check the penalties. 2 flags came in where he got the edge on the near side. Was it a hold or was it on the defensive side?
Holding. Offense number 66. 10-yard penalty. Replay. 3rd down.
It's Brady Aiello, the left tackle.
That's on his way. They came outside on that play and they tried to sustain the block a little bit too long. Watch him right here. He's right in there, left tackle spot. Sees he comes out, he's standing up. He comes around the tight end on the pull. And then just looks like he may have tackled the guy in space.
That would be how I would describe it, yes. So now 3rd and 11. Herbert under pressure. Down he goes. Flags come in. James Looney got to the quarterback. We'll check the penalties.
Holding. Offense number 78. Penalties decline. Result of the play is 4th down.
So Cam Hunt ticketed for the holding. James Looney gets the sack, what would be his 2nd of the season. And now the Duck punt team will come on from a lot farther back than they were a little while ago when Brooks-James was standing in the end zone.
The Ducks lost the opportunity for 2 big plays, one by stepping out of bounds, another by consecutive holding penalties.
Wheeler kicks one. Wharton signals fair catch, makes it at his own 23-yard line. Cal with a 7-0 lead and the ball. Their offense and Davis Webb coming back onto the field. Benefit of having a Friday night football game to work is you get to watch Saturday night football, and what a good one it's going to be on ABC. JT Barrett and undefeated Ohio State take on Penn State in Happy Valley in a whiteout game at Beaver Stadium. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC, streaming live, of course, on the ESPN app. And watch ESPN. Urban Meyer's got it going on in Columbus.
Pretty successful. When he went to Florida, he came to Oregon and copied our recruitment center. It worked pretty well for him there.
So Cal with the ball. Davis Webb with a rare run. And he's knocked to the ground by Jalen Jelks, 97 for the Ducks.
I was going to say that play just surprised me because
yes.
I would not run him. I think they're trying to keep the defense honest, but he had a banged up thumb last week. He's obviously totally healthy this week.
Oregon showing a little pressure. Now they back off. Alfani Muhammad, good rushing yardage. Jelks again wrestles him to the ground. Not until the ball is all the way out to the 35 and a fresh set of downs for the Golden Bears.
Jumps in on the last 2 plays as a playmaker for the Ducks. He's been not healthy for a couple weeks, but his speed and athleticism does make a difference in there.
Defensive coordinator Brady Holt told us he was glad to have him back tonight. Here's Muhammad again. Across midfield before he's brought down by the safety, Brendan Schooler. Alfani Muhammad, who had a career high of 165 yards in the last game against Oregon State, already having a good one tonight.
Nice job up front by Cal getting a hat on a hat. The safeties are so deep for Oregon. They're having to make tackles in space, which eventually is going to hurt them.
Almost dropped that exchange, but he's got a lot of room. Again, it was the safety, Schooler, who clipped the feet of Khalfani Muhammad, but another giant run for Cal.
Brendan Schooler, a true freshman, very good player, and will have a great future with the Ducks, but right now he shouldn't have to make all those open field tackles. Somebody up front, and that front seven has to do a better job.
23 on that carry for Muhammad.
When you look at this box count, there's only 5 people in box for the Ducks. They're going to run the football until that's changed.
I just keep handing it to 29 the way they're going.
Well, you're right. And both from a standpoint it is working. It's working because of the Ducks alignment. Plus right now this pace is wearing out the Ducks a little bit. You notice they're trying to substitute to keep some fresh people in the game.
So ball now inside the 15 at the 14 and a 1st and 10 for Cal. And Webb going to make his reads and his checks. And hand it off again. Inside the 5-yard line, and Khalfani Muhammad has been the star of this drive, plus that offensive line for the Bears.
And it's not a question of boxing out, it's a question of getting blocked up front. The Cal offensive line is doing a great job of getting a block on a block, getting a hat on a hat, and finishing blocks up front.
So Muhammad out for a breather, a much needed one. He's done a lot of work in this drive. Trey Watson is in now. And there's going to be a measurement here to see if he got the first down. Now, the run defense has been a problem for both of these teams, and certainly a problem on this drive for the Ducks. A little bit short of the first down after the measurement. There it is.
Well, they're 118th in the FBS, and they've already given up 118 tonight. So the reality is they're not doing a very good job, and Cal is controlling the tempo of the game with both their pace and the fact that they can run the ball so effectively.
So 2nd and short from just inside the 5-yard line. Malik McMorris, 99, in as a big blocking back. That's him set on the left side of the offensive formation. Webb will pull it and throw to the end zone, and a touchdown for Cal. This one goes to Hudson.
When you're running the ball, the defense is forced to bring more people into the box. The crossing routes down there with play action become very difficult to fit.
Now Matt Anderson on for the point after try to make it a 14-point lead. Straight down the middle. Khalfani Muhammad was the star of that drive for Cal.
Yeah, he breaks out this long run. Watch him. Great job there of cutting back. Almost didn't get the handoff, as you said, but then turned it on. Shoestring tackle out in the open field, but he still gets yards after contact. Then watch down here on the touchdown. Watch this young man right here. Sort of hides in there. Watch the play fake going this way. Takes everybody with him. He goes back across the grain. Difficult to cover. Great catch and a great throw where only his guy could get it by Davis Webb.
You know, you've talked about with these offenses that spread them out, like the Oregon offense and the Bear Raid, that you spread the field out to make more space to run.
Absolutely. And that's why Cal and Oregon too, all of those style of offenses have great success, because you have to cover people, and you walk those outside linebacker type guys out there so far, they're not sure if they're covering a pass or they're going to try to support the run.
Now, a beautiful 76-yard drive with Muhammad rushing 5 times for 67 of those 76 yards on that drive, and Cal up 14-0 as we come toward the end of this first quarter. So now the pressure beginning to mount on the Oregon offense here as they're behind by 2 touchdowns. And a pooch kick, fair catch signaled for and made, and Oregon will take over at its 26-yard line. Late penalty flag just came sailing in, 2 of them, as a matter of fact.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, receiving team number 32. 15-yard penalty, 1st and 10.
You can't have those things anytime, especially when you're trailing by 2 touchdowns. So for this Oregon offense now, 3 possessions, 3 punts. Well, they had a couple of times where the ball was in the end zone and came back for penalties.
Right. They've got to sustain a drive and not be their own worst enemy. Keep the ball in bounds. And obviously, we talked to Matt Lubick earlier in the year. He talked about penalties, how they derail the opportunity to score on a drive. And right now, the Ducks have been their own worst enemy.
Let me correct myself. 1 came all the way back out of the end zone for a penalty. 1 for being out of bounds. Penalty flag comes in again as Taj Griffin got some yards around the left end.
Personal foul, tripping. Offense number 78. Half the distance to the goal. Replay, 1st down.
Another one for Cam Hunt.
Cam Hunt is a guy that competes very hard. May not be the greatest athlete, but he's tough. But he's got a holding penalty and a tripping penalty. Take a look here and see. Watch the right guard. See what happens on this play. Sort of a
swung that leg around.
Yeah, a little leg whip.
Yeah. So Herbert's going to throw just a little far out in front of Charles Nelson, who had a step and some space. Chris.
Alan, after Oregon's last possession, Justin Herbert, the first person he went up to talk to was Dakota Prukop. They had a long conversation about what he was seeing. This is something they're working on with Justin, trying to get him to be more vocal. They want him to say something after every play.
Herbert 3 of 8 throwing in the game so far for 17 yards. Hit this one to Johnny Munt, the tight end, for a short gain. Just get him back to the original line of scrimmage as we come to the end of this first quarter. Oregon's had its chances, but it's Cal that leads 14-0 at the end of 1 in Berkeley. First game of the weekend of the Pac-12 tonight here in Berkeley, and a look at what's at stake for both teams. Cal trying to find that path through to bowl eligibility, standing at 3-3 and 1-2 in the conference. Oregon looking for its first conference win of the season. And down by 2 touchdowns as we start the second quarter. Justin Herbert throws to a receiver downfield, and it was over the top of Jaylen Brown and incomplete. He had a step on Darius Allensworth.
One of the things about Justin Herbert, all of his throws have been long tonight. He's too excited. He's too amped up. He's too hyped up. He's taken a lot of this on his own shoulders. He's got to relax and just pass the ball. Not tired to throw the ball down the field.
Allensworth limping off on the far side. So the punt team back on again for a 4th consecutive possession for the Ducks. And this time, Ian Wheeler will stand in his own end zone to kick. Wharton back at about his own 46-yard line. Fair catch signaled and made at the 49. Excellent field position to start their next possession for the Cal offense. So the Bear Raid comes onto the field. Air Raid, Bear Raid, what's it mean?
Well, it means that and they're demonstrating it tonight, if you have defenders in the box, it determines whether you're going to run or pass, and they're making great choices. You have 5 receivers to spread out the defense, and then you have combination routes, both deep, underneath, and intermediate, that attack all aspects of your defense.
In theory, it's got an answer for everything if you make the right read.
And the quarterback has to know where to go with the ball.
So Davis Webb, the Cal quarterback, 8 of 10 tonight, 55 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He'll go to Trey Watson with the handoff, and Watson will have good yardage on first down. The run game very effective for the Golden Bears. And a whistle and an Oregon player down. That's Austin Malawata, who is down just around midfield.
That's a 2nd defensive lineman to be helped off tonight, and obviously Oregon has very little depth up front too.
So injury timeout on the field here at Cal as the Oregon medical staff attends to Malawata. Timeout.
College football brought to you by Wendy's 4 for $4. Now with Swiss Junior Bacon Cheeseburger for a limited time only.
Oracle Arena, where the Golden State Warriors open their NBA season on Tuesday night. And the Coliseum across the street. Raiders are on the road this week, I believe, across the country in Jacksonville. Of course, our ESPN coverage begins on Wednesday night for the new season. Malalato walked off the field, being evaluated there. You saw the pass from Davis Webb out to the outside to Stovall for a very short gain. Khalil Oliver with the defense there. And so a third down for Cal.
Davis Webb and the Cal offense mixing up the run and pass very, very well. They're keeping Oregon off balance to where they don't really know where to put men in the box.
Trey Watson is the running back. And a first down to Stovall, who's across the 40 down to the 38-yard line.
There's that underneath crossing route that is a staple in the Bear Raid offense. If the quarterback can get the protection to hold on to the ball, which he did that time. Right now they're getting no pressure and no stops up front.
One of the tricks for Oregon right now is the top two in their depth chart at one of those defensive tackle positions have both gone out injured in this game. Webb throws, and that completion, that's Robertson, who has a very nice gain on first down out to the 30-yard line. It'll bring up second down and 2, which gives you a lot of options.
Yeah, the Ducks secondary is playing so far off a lot of the time that those throws are very easy underneath.
Here comes Watson. Very nicely pursued to the outside by Jimmy Swain, 18 for Oregon.
Nice. So, sorry. As they do this, they need to make sure that they stop the vertical plays, the plays that hit and go north and south right now. Force them to run laterally and then pursue like heck. And I'm seeing okay effort. I'm seeing very poor execution.
5 of 6 on third down for Cal. He's going to have it. Trey Watson moves the chains for Cal, and the drive keeps going. Talk some more about that poor execution. What do you see?
Well, I think right now that the Oregon defense is just too porous up front, and they're not able to close down and stop the run, so they can run for 3 or 4 yards every single play. They're so worried about getting beat deep, they're committing 2 deep safeties. When you're 2 deep safeties, you're light in the box. You can't cover everybody out there and also support the run.
Throw to the outside, and Bug Rivera gets his first grab of the night.
Right now, also the athleticism for Oregon on the edge. The guys that are charged with supporting the run, the outside linebacker type guys, and getting to that flat pass very quickly. They're put in a quandary.
So another one of those second and shorts that gives Cal a lot of options. Tell you the other thing that's going on here too. As Watson has the grab and has the first down, and still hasn't been knocked down. Trey Watson. Here's the other thing that's going on is Cal's offense, even though it's supposed to be a quick strike offense, they have been on the field for a long time, and an already depleted Oregon defense is spending a lot of time out of the field.
Cal's offense very efficient, very effective. Right now they're getting great push at the line of scrimmage. The Oregon defensive linemen have their hands on the knees, or they're up and being pushed back away from the line of scrimmage.
You saw those total yards numbers. 49 for Oregon. There's California Muhammad. Going to run into a pile of players. Nothing much doing there for Cal. And it'll set up second down. Oregon, through that first quarter, had about as many penalty yards as they had yards of total offense.
They're one of the most penalized teams in the nation, and we've talked about how that's hurt them over the course of the season.
Got another Duck slow to get up. Indeed it was. Elijah George, who will get up and come off the field. Now look at the total yards, penalty yards.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, and certainly they've been self-inflicted wounds with a lot of holding penalties that brought back a couple of fairly big plays.
So when we talked with Mark Helfrich and Brady Hogue about this Oregon team, one of the things that was mentioned was, you know, being thin on defense on an offensive team, on a team whose offense plays at tempo and is trying to get off the field as quick as they can.
Well, this is a great example. When you play tempo and don't get first downs, your defense is stuck on the field. And their defense is tired right now. They're not focused, and they're giving up easy plays.
Vic Morton with the third Cal touchdown of the game. Yeah. 3 trips to the red zone, 3 touchdowns for the Golden Bears. Point after by Matt Anderson is good.
Brady Hoke talked about the need for communication. Here's an example of the lack thereof. You see 2 guys right here. They're trying to let one guy go. One guy's got to commit. They've got to declare. They've got to communicate better and finally execute.
Not even 5 minutes into the second quarter, and Cal is up by 3 touchdowns on Oregon, who's had nothing going on offense tonight and not very much on the defensive side of the ball as well. College Football Hall of Famer, former Oregon head coach Mike Bellotti. We're not seeing the kind of response that I think Mark Helfrich wanted to see from his team after that Washington game in the bye week.
No, Oregon is being outcoached and outplayed right now. They can't get out of their own way on offense because of penalties, lack of production on third down, and then defensively they're in disarray. They cannot stop the run. They can't stop the flat receiver, and really they aren't communicating the way that Brady Hoke and Mark Helfrich have talked about. They need to communicate to enable them to play faster, to recognize situations. I don't see effort. I don't see execution.
No, minus those 2, you're going to have a problem, and that problem's probably going to be sizable. Another pooch kick. And another fair catch signal for, and let's check back in the studio with Ad Denver.
All right, thank you very much, guys. Just want to update you on what's happening with San Jose State and San Diego State over on ESPN2. It's Donnell Pumphrey up to his usual tricks from 27 yards out. He's been great for the Aztecs. They're up 21-0 right now. Allen comfortably in front. Back over to you.
And Dan, duplicate score lines then. 21-0 here in Berkeley. And there is the drive chart for the Duck offense, which is not a pretty one.
No, and we talked tonight about the defense that gets the most stops is going to win this game. And right now it's the Cal defense.
Justin Herbert, hands off, far side, nothing doing for Taj Griffin, who was knocked out of bounds by Cody DK for the Golden Bears.
Now, Oregon has the capacity to score very quickly. They still have a lot of great athletes on the field, but they've got to get the offensive line straightened out. There's been too many penalties, but watch out because they can come back, but they need to come back and support that defense. Actually, they need to put a drive together and let the defense rest a little bit.
Stay on the field, yeah. Herbert throws, got a receiver, got a first down. Darren Carrington all the way out to midfield, and that might just be a little spark that this Duck offense needs, maybe a little confidence for the young quarterback.
Absolutely. I think Justin Herbert getting a big conversion right there, finding his best receiver, Darren Carrington, down the field. Hopefully that settles him down a little bit.
Ducks crank up the tempo. Tony Brooks-James looked for a little running yardage. Give him about 5. Nice gain on first down for Oregon before Cameron Walker knocks him down.
Tony Brooks-James, though, is more of a speedster. He runs a little bit upright for me through the middle line of scrimmage, but he's a guy that can take it all the way if he finds a crease.
Herbert will throw again. Dumps it off. It is caught. That is Pharaoh Brown, the big tight end, who will rumble down inside. Luke Rubenzer knocks him down. Pharaoh Brown with a catch and run. And they move the sticks for Oregon down to the 25-yard line.
He is a big man, and I would have characterized it the same way. That was rumbling down that sideline.
Herbert with time, swings it out wide. Brooks-James nicely played in the open field. Cameron Walker with an excellent defensive play.
He's their nickel back, and he's a great cover guy. He a lot of times has the guy coming out first back out or the slot receiver, and he can cover anybody.
Interesting here for Cal's defense. Ball at the near hash mark and a quick defensive stop, and they made a wholesale change on defense. I think that was about 10 guys that came on, if not all 11. Herbert throws. Caught! Fighting for the end zone! Touchdown, Oregon! Pharaoh Brown! Well,
that's going to be really close. I think he got it.
I give him a touchdown there.
Yeah, I do too. I don't think the knee was down. I think the ball had crossed the plane. They may take a look, but as we talked about, Oregon has the capability of scoring very quickly on offense, and maybe that drive is going to help them. But certainly, if nothing else, their defense could take a little bit of a breather. They probably scored too quickly to get them any real rest.
So Aiden Schneider on for the point after try for Oregon. And it's a 2-touchdown deficit. Very nicely done down the field by Justin Herbert, and the Oregon offense took him just 6 plays in a minute 38 to cover the 69 yards, had 3 20-yard-plus plays on that drive. An SEC Top 25 doubleheader for you Saturday on ESPN. 6 Eastern, number 17 Arkansas and number 21 Auburn. Then number 25 LSU and number 23 Ole Miss in Baton Rouge. That one's coming up at 9. Both games streaming live on the ESPN app and Watch ESPN. And look at the SEC West standings. Of course, the Alabama-Texas A&M square off tomorrow as well. College game day in Tuscaloosa. And one of those teams trying to keep pace.
Alabama's a huge favorite, but I think A&M, I don't like them to win, but I think A&M has a chance to keep that game very close.
Here's Kalfani Mohammed. Beautiful kick return for Cal all the way out to the 35-yard line. And let's check downstairs with Chris.
Alan, Oregon's offense or defense, sorry, clearly frustrated. Frankly, some of it I can't even repeat. But Tyree Robinson, the defensive back, came over. He said, if you're not going to play hard, you need to sit down. Brady Hope came over, tried to spin that frustration into a positive. And that's something this coaching staff has told this team. If you're frustrated, go air it out on the field.
Well, Chris, here's the big challenge for the Oregon defense. Can they get a stop? Their offense just got some points. Can the defense get off the field and give the offense a chance to close things a little later? That was close. Khalil Oliver was close.
They talked about simplifying and allowing them to play faster. The problem with simplifying too much is you give it too easy on the Cal quarterback, Davis Webb, who's very experienced and knows where to go with the ball very quickly. For example, look at the slot receiver to the field. There's nobody within 10 yards of him. I just throw him the ball right now.
Guy in the far outside the far hash mark. And they're going to give it to Kalfani Mohammed instead. He'll be dropped and wrapped up. Henry Mondu gets his number called for the first time tonight. One of the defensive leaders for the Oregon Duck front, 92. Set up a 3rd down.
And they really need somebody up front to make some plays. They've got to stop this Cal offense, which has been almost impossible for them to do tonight.
Can the Ducks get off the field on 3rd down? They've not succeeded at it tonight except for once. Webb with all kinds of time throws in behind the intended receiver. And a 4th down coming up for Cal.
A lot of time to throw. Oregon trying to mount a 4-man pass rush, not getting there. Davis Webb floating in the pocket, actually throws this ball behind. Could have been intercepted. That might have been the break that the Ducks were looking for.
Kalana Apelu had a chance to turn it over. So now 4th down. Cal, one of the best in the nation at converting on 4th down.
11 out of 13 on the season.
Got a receiver and got a 1st down and more. Demetrius Robertson and the Bears keep the drive going.
And it looked as if there was a huge cushion out there. We can take a look and just see. One-on-one coverage. They're trying to go fast again, but
the time Webb has. Throws far side to Stovall. He'll have 8 or so on 1st down.
We can go back to the cushion, just take a look, because this is a key play in the game, and we're getting just so much room out there that the receiver can just run down and stop. Here's what we're talking about. Just take a look right there. That's 9 or 10 yards.
Hand it off. Inside instead. That was Mohammed.
You know, we can talk about the outside stuff all we want. The game starts at the line of scrimmage. You've got to be able to rush the quarterback with 4, and you've got to be able to stop the run and defeat blocks and allow your linebackers to make plays.
Got a Cal player down. One of the Cal linemen is down. And that is Dwayne Wallace, the redshirt junior right guard from Riverside, California, getting up and gingerly making his way off the field. Well, we talked about the defense a lot. There's where they stand out of 128 teams in FBS football in those categories.
I'm not sure what to say other than the only way to go is up.
And they, you know, when you talk to the coaches, when we talk to Mark Helfrich and Brady Hoke, they understand what they're up against and what the plan is for making it turn up. The question is keeping everybody calm and patient and getting results while you're turning it up, because you still got to win games.
Hopefully win some games, you get a chance, because it's going to take a couple of years of recruiting classes to fix this.
Webb throws over the top of Stovall and incomplete. So let's talk about what they felt like they had to do. Well, first thing, in changing from the 3-4 to the 4-3, that instantly leaves you with a depth problem of the big fellas up front.
The big guys up front. You play a 4-3, you need 8 to 10 guys that are in the 260 to 320 range that are just tough and can take on double teams, etc. They don't have that. They were in a 3-4. But you still, it's about defense, and you still can have certain things that you don't do, like you got to learn how to play the option.
On fourth down, Trey Watson finally chased down by Jalen Jelks, but a big gain on 4th and short for Cal, and they continue to march down the field.
Cal showing the ability to run Davis Webb on the option of the zone read tonight. A new wrinkle they've added probably over the bye week.
Wharton with the grab for no gain. Interesting situation a moment ago. Wharton, who is from Spring Hill, Tennessee, in the Nashville area, was out there being covered by Ugo Amadi, who's from Nashville. A couple of guys that knew each other from high school ball, facing off out in the Pac-12.
Come all the way out here to play against each other again.
Near side, wide open. Raymond Hudson.
Let me say this too, when you're not playing great defense, what you're really trying to do is never give up the big play. You don't want to give up the explosive play, which makes you tend to play off, play loose, go tackle it underneath throw, but you can't make it that easy.
Cal will take those 5-8 yard pitch and catches all day, all night. Incomplete in the direction of Patrick Warstell, and defended there. So a 2nd down and 10 as Cal has moved into the red zone now for the 4th time in this game. They've scored on the 3 prior trips inside the 20.
And let's look at a 2nd and 10 situation with Cal. They're going to do the box count first, decide whether to run or pass, and then they're going to look at what type of coverage they're anticipating. With a single high safety, it probably is going to be man free.
The box count. I used to do that when I worked at a grocery store when I was in high school.
Well, that's a box count that means you should be throwing the ball, I just tell you.
And the play clock ran out while Davis Webb was making his checks and adjustments.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
So 2nd and 10 becomes 2nd and 15. So box count is obviously the players between the tackles, the linebackers, the down linemen, and so on, and that sets you off with how many people are lined up on all these guys spread out outside.
Yes, as we look, I would call that a 5-man box count right now, because the other guy's way outside the tackle trying to get down. Now see him sneaking in at the last minute. That's what you try to do. Change the box count late. Confuse the quarterback as to whether it should be run or pass.
That was a great play by 51 Gary Baker, the redshirt freshman from Upland, California, at the bottom of that pile, fighting through a block and grabbing on to Watson as he came through and wrestling him down. So 3rd down, and they need a bunch. Almost a circus catch. Almost by Stovall, but he was out of bounds when he came down.
Wow, this ball is thrown very well and caught like an Odell Beckham Jr. type catch. Oh my gosh. And he's just barely, as you talked about, out of bounds. That's a tremendous catch.
So Matt Anderson on for the field goal try. One of the best in the country. Made 25 of his last 27 over last season and this season, and add another one to it. And the redshirt junior from Danville, California, expands the Cal lead. 24-7, 5 to go, second quarter here in Berkeley, and the I Made It dance. Of course, the national championship game is in Tampa on January 9th. And do you know, we are 11 days away from the committee releasing its first college football playoff rankings of this season.
Wow, I forgot about that, but I'm excited. I'm looking forward to that.
So 24-7 here, Cal over Oregon. The Oregon defense holding the Golden Bears to just a field goal. Is that a victory for the Duck defense?
It's a small victory. It's one in the right direction, but they've got to get a lot more tonight.
Noah Beto's kick, and again they'll kick short, force the Oregon fair catch. Ducks will start at their own 28-yard line. Saturday night, ABC, JT Barrett, and undefeated number 2 Ohio State face a Big Ten test. Don't try this at home. I'm a trained professional. When they go to Beaver Stadium in the whiteout game for Penn State, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC, streaming live on the ESPN app and on Watch ESPN. JT Barrett, all you can say is winner.
21-2. That's why he's on my top 5 Heisman list right now. They had a whale of a game last year with Penn State, though.
Yes, yes. Had to fight that one out.
Don't assume anything about that game.
Be an interesting one to see. So here's the Oregon offense. Finally got on the scoreboard in their last possession. They try it again with the freshman quarterback Justin Herbert. With time and a throw. Trying to adjust back for the ball, Darren Carrington, and flags will come in from 3 different directions. And probably a pretty good call there, I would say, against Josh Drayden, the freshman defensive back.
Oregon throwing much more because they're catching Cal in man-to-man defense on first down.
Defense number 20, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Here's the penalties. You can see the reach and the grab and not playing the ball. And Justin Herbert gets rid of this ball, but he takes a shot right to the chest, right to the sternum. It's tough on a young man. They didn't hit him that way at Sheldon High School.
Little hello from the 5th-year senior Devontae Wilson from Cal. So bring the ball out to the 44-yard line. And a first down for the Ducks. This will be Taj Griffin. He'll get across midfield. Nice gain on first down to the 49-yard line. Haven't seen Royce Freeman in a while. Freeman has been banged up. We saw him earlier in the game. Fairly ineffective. And so now Griffin and Tony Brooks-James doing a lot of the load carrying for Oregon. And the passing arm of Justin Herbert in and through the hands of Johnny Munt, the tight end, the intended receiver, Kahari Vanderbilt on defense for Cal.
You know, a lot of people think Oregon is just built on these wide receivers, but Pharaoh Brown, Evan Bayless, Johnny Munt, Jacob Bliss, they've got some great tight ends that can catch and block at the line of scrimmage. So use them tonight because they're typically matched up on safeties.
Third down. Very slow developing play that gets little to nothing for Oregon.
Tell you what they wanted to do. They wanted to run outside. The back is supposed to press it up inside and then bounce it outside. He saw a little bit of light, thought maybe I can get it, and then decided, he didn't have his pad level in the right place.
So fourth down, and Mark Helfrich will leave the offense on the field.
The Ducks are only 46% on fourth down this year, not as effective as Cal.
Brooks-James stutter steps sideways and gets across the line to gain before he hits the deck. The drive continues for Oregon, and a Cal player down on the far side of the field. While we have the injury timeout, let's check back in the studio with Adnan Verk.
All right, Alan, thank you very much. Coming up at the halftime report, Pac-12 lack of respect right now. Taking a page out of Rodney Dangerfield. Why don't enough of us focus on that conference? Also, it's all about being in the zone in Tuscaloosa. Talking about zone reads and zone play from the quarterbacks from Joey Galloway and Danny Cannell. And also the bare necessities. Our man, Chris Felica, will take a closer look at other big matchups, including Ohio State taking on Penn State on ABC tomorrow night. All that more coming up the half. Alan, I know you'll be locked in.
Absolutely. Got to get my bare necessities for the weekend. Get set up. Hey, Adnan, we got a Friday night game to work, so we get to watch a lot of college football tomorrow. Tony McCary was the injured Cal player. He is off to the sideline for further attention. And so after going for it on fourth down, the Oregon drive continues. just inside the 45-yard line of Cal. Herbert throws. Little too tall for Darren Carrington and incomplete.
One of the most difficult throws for a young quarterback is that throw 15 to 25 yards down the field. It has to turn over. You can't throw it too high. You've got to have it turn over just over the linebackers, but get down. And that ball probably should have been caught. Darren Carrington is the best receiver for Oregon on the field. He's got to make that play to support the young quarterback.
So he'll step out for a breather on 2nd and 10. This is Brooks James with running room. Still going and all the way down inside the 5-yard line before he's finally dragged out of bounds by Kahari Vanderbilt.
The coaches talked about the fact that Tony Brooks James is the most complete back right now. He's the healthiest. He's got the speed to finish plays. And that's the 2nd time he's been off to the races tonight.
43 yards on that one. 1st and goal for the Ducks. Brooks James pounding toward the goal line. No signal yet. No arms in the air.
The problem for the Ducks down here is that Brooks James only weighs about 185 pounds. He's not the type of guy that you want running low inside. You'd hope that Royce Freeman would be able to come back in and carry the load at this point.
Hey, Coach, there's a lot of blue players waving like they got the ball down there. I didn't see it come out.
On the field as the runner was down in possession of the football short of the goal line. 2nd down.
All right. Now let's see if the replay room buzzes down.
The Ducks aren't even lined up in a huddle. They're trying to get a play, I guess. Oftentimes teams will try to run a play very quickly if you still have the ball.
And Mark Helfrich is out on the field at the numbers at the 20-yard line, calling timeout for Oregon.
I wonder if he's asking if they scored.
Possibly. There were still 19 seconds on the play clock, though they weren't organized, particularly at the line of scrimmage. Let's see.
Well, that's pretty close. We're not going to see it from that angle. This is probably better. There's the ball. His knee's not down yet.
Ooh, and that ball's bouncing.
The ball.
That ball might have bounced in there, Mike.
Yeah.
Let's see. Watch underneath the knees here. Hand down, reaching for it. I can't tell.
Yeah, I can't either.
And it's got to be indisputable video evidence. So we go with the 2nd down and goal play. Brooks James, touchdown Ducks, no question this time. Tony Brooks James with the big 43-yard run and then finishes it off into the end zone. And Oregon now looking to get it back to within 10 with the point after try. Aiden Schneider will kick out of Taylor Ali's hold. Got it through. Well, no question that Tony Brooks James has been the best of the Oregon running backs tonight, and his 43-yard run was definitely the key play on that drive.
And watch the way he sets this up. He bounces outside, gets a great block, and then just turns on the jets. Tiptoes the sidelines. Finally gets pulled down just inside the 3-yard line. Here he is on the touchdown. This is the 2nd opportunity down here. Great play, great blocking.
Nice.
Cal really ran themselves out of that play, trying to stop the zone read on the outside.
Brady Aiello, Jake Hansen, nice blocks to open that big hole. And so now we've got a 10-point ball game. And what once looked reasonably bleak now looks somewhat hopeful if you're wearing the green and gold.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to tell you. We talked about the fact that the defenses that make the most stops are going to be the people that win this game. And so far the defense has traded off being a little bit stingy and a little bit like a sieve.
So Matt Wogan will kick off. Kalfani Muhammad and Trey Watson back deep for Cal. And coming up on 3 minutes to go in this first half. It's Muhammad from the 7. all the way out to the 24-yard line before he's dropped. Well, College Game Day back in Tuscaloosa tomorrow, in there for the 13th time in advance of number 6 Texas A&M visiting number 1 Alabama. Jalen Hurts, of course, the rising star, up against that immense defensive front headed by Myles Garrett. College Game Day live from Tuscaloosa, Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern here on ESPN. And do you know what I heard earlier tonight?
No.
The coolest thing. You know who the celebrity guest picker is going to be tomorrow?
You told me and I forgot.
Vern Lundquist.
Oh, that's cool. That is neat.
One of the greats of our business. Of course, in his final season calling the SEC for CBS. And Vern's going to make the picks tomorrow, and I think that'll be just a lot of fun.
You know, the problem for Myles Garrett is he's a great pass rusher. He's not going to get to run after the quarterback as much. He's going to have to stop the run first against Alabama.
Yeah, nice run for Trey Watson on first down. 2nd and short for Cal.
You know, with this 2:44 left, there's enough time for both of these offenses to score the way they play.
Webb with time, throws, far sideline. Was he inbounds? Incomplete is the signal. Out of bounds. Plus there's a hat down, which means the receiver was out of bounds and didn't reestablish himself inbounds before he caught the ball.
Yeah, had the defender pushed him out, he'd be okay, but he voluntarily went out of bounds and cannot come back in and catch the ball.
So 3rd and short for Cal. And Webb's going to keep it. Get the first down. Ball came out, but after he was already down. So Davis Webb running to convert.
And I wonder how many times he actually has rushed the ball this year. The quarterback carries involve sacks too, so you don't really know.
I'll tell you, that was his 22nd carry of the season. Remember, every time you get sacked, you're credited for carrying the ball.
But that's what I was asking about, how many times he's really run the ball to run it as opposed to gotten sacked.
There's the flag. And Tyree Robinson just with a little tug on the jersey right in the plain view of the referee.
Tyree Robinson is a...
Number 2, 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
He's a big corner. He's 6'4", over 200 pounds. Was a safety. Watch him right here. Let's just see how this goes. Because he has makeup speed. He's got long arms. But this is just a foot race down the field. And he thinks he's beat a little bit. Probably didn't need to do that because the ball wouldn't have been caught. But the reality is, if you don't know where the ball is, you tend to say, hey, I'm not going to let the receiver catch the football.
So ball into Oregon territory at the 44-yard line for the first down, Cal. Webb just a little bit over the top of Jordan Vesey as he was under pressure in the backfield.
Oregon finally getting a little bit of pressure on Webb. Forced him out of the pocket that time and were able to make a play down the field. But penalties still hurting the Ducks on both sides of the ball.
Yeah. And again, this opportunity. Can the Ducks defense step up and shut down Cal's offense and get off the field? Webb throws to a wide open Trey Watson, but a flag comes in. Webb not happy with the flag that came past him.
Hands to the face. Number 5 has to remain out for 1 down. His helmet came off through play. During the play, personal foul. Legal hands to the face. Defense number 90. That penalty will be assessed 15 yards from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
I'd say that's why Webb was not happy, because Drayton Carlberg got his hands into the face.
Okay, right here. I think it's this man right here lined up over the left guard. Let's take a look and see how this happens. You see he's going in there and pushing, trying to go hard, and that hand got up into the face. Not a lot, but just enough to draw the notice of the officials.
So a quick 30 yards of penalties moves the ball down the field for Cal to the 24-yard line. Here's Khalfani Muhammad. A nice job of stacking things up on the far side of the defense by A.J. Hotchkiss for Oregon.
That's the first time I've seen the Ducks get more than one guy in on the tackle today. That was the right leverage, the right attitude about pursuit and finish.
Dump it off, coming back through. Vic Wharton looking for some help. making a lot of it happen himself. Long ways across the field and very close to the first down marker. In fact, he will have. They give it to them. They'll mark him just short. Beg your pardon. It's third and about 1.5 feet.
Warp speed by Cal right now. Going to get this play off very quickly.
Throwing. Out of bounds. Incomplete. Melky Stovall. And an Oregon defender is all the way up against the wall of the stadium and still down after going out of bounds.
This is just a great man-to-man route, a corner route from the inside receiver. We'll take a look here and see it at the end of the play. Well thrown ball. I think that's a touchdown. I can't tell. The official right there, though, ruled him out, or maybe he held the ball all the way in contact with the ground. It looked as if his foot was in. Let's take a look from this angle. Oh, his heel might have caught that.
No. When he's spinning around in front of this side judge, who's right there, was he firmly in control of the ball, or was he still trying to pull it in? I guess that would be the trick.
Let's take a look. I think he's got control of the ball. I think there's no question about that.
Just that when that ball comes up off of his body right there, see? That's what I think would possibly give the side judge a reason to say, I don't know. Watch here right this next half a second or so.
His hands are on the ball.
But watch it come away. Well, if they continue it as they're looking at it, watch it come away from his body ever so slightly. And was that enough to give the official a reason to question his control of the ball?
I don't see at this point, if they let it go, I don't see any lack of control. I think he may have thought that the heel landed out of bounds because he has the best angle to see that better than we do.
Now, replay official Jim Northcutt having a good look at it. And again, he could have the assistance of the command center over in San Francisco. Pac-12 collaborative replay. Just a little blue between that white shoe and the white sideline.
They're going to let us know he's running back on the field.
And by the way, Khalil Oliver was the duck that was over on the far side. He has walked to the Oregon bench. And the call stands, so incomplete. And a fourth down. Webb hands off. Muhammad hit, but pushes forward. See where they spot it. That's close.
Close, yeah.
They're going to measure.
And again, it's where the ball was when his knee or arm touched down. That's close, so they'll have to bring out the chains for that one.
All right, so this is interesting because it is fourth down.
I think he might have got that. I think that spot looks like the nose of the ball is past where the marker was, but it's going to be close.
Yes, very close.
Nose of the football. Game of inches.
So Sonny Dykes calling timeout with 24 seconds to go in this first half. Cal 3 for 3 on fourth downs tonight, and the drive continues on that one. So here we are getting down to the end of this first half. First quarter completely dominated by Cal. The Oregon defense had no answers for the Bear Raid offense, and the Oregon offense had nothing going. Now in the second quarter, Oregon's offense has started to get going. Its defense held the Cal offense to a field goal one time, and the offense went back down and answered. And these final 24 seconds, can the Oregon defense keep Cal out of the end zone again?
And Cal has moved the ball with the last 3 minutes remaining in this half all the way down the field. They're in a position to use up the clock, kick a field goal if necessary. Probably going to try a shot into the end zone, I'm going to guess, or a couple depending on how many timeouts and how daring they feel. But they want to walk away with a minimum of 3 more points and hopefully a touchdown.
Absolutely. And for Cal, looking to remain undefeated on their home field this year. Cal trying to find a way over their remaining games to get 3 more wins at least and get bowl eligible. They have an enormously difficult schedule ahead. Oregon coming in winless in the conference at 0-3 on a 4-game losing streak. And Mark Helfrich and company, after a bye week, looking to regroup and see an effort out of their team and see a turn back in the right direction as they hope to find a way to become bowl eligible.
Both of these coaches would tell you this is an important game because they're both as healthy as they're going to be right now for this bye week for the remainder of the season.
So 1st and 10.
Cal with 2 timeouts left can take as many shots as they want.
14-yard line for Davis Webb and the Bear Raid. He's going to throw to a wide open running back out of the backfield, and Trey Watson will walk into the end zone. That was well designed, well executed on the offense's side.
Yeah, Trey Watson sneaking out a little play action, a little trickeration there. Nice job in execution by the Cal offense.
So Matt Anderson on for the point after try, looking to make it 31 and a half.
Okay, Trey Watson right here is going to run out here, do this. They're going to take the quarterback, come over here, and takes all the defense with him. As we watch this play, great execution. You see the play fake there. Davis Webb rolls out. Receiver clears that area, and then a nicely thrown ball over the top. Don't lead him too much. Just make sure he catches it. Get in the end zone. Little excitement from Davis Webb. He's healthy this week.
Yeah. And so the Oregon defense confused on that one. Too many blue shirts moving in too many different directions. And 31-14 with 17 ticks of the clock left in this first half. 10 plays, 76 yards. 5 for 5 in the red zone in the game for Cal. And again, the 4th down conversions continuing to roll in for the Golden Bears.
5 for 5 in the red zone. You talked about the 4th down conversions. We talked earlier about the defense with the most number of stops was going to win this game tonight. And right now it's the Cal defense.
Absolutely. So halftime coming up, and a look at some of the great college football games ahead this weekend. Of course, this the first of the Pac-12 schedule for the weekends. That includes Colorado, Stanford, Oregon State, Washington, Washington State, Arizona State, and UCLA and Utah.
If they keep doing this pooch kick, I would put my best returners on the 30-yard line at the hash and let them handle it. Make them kick it deep.
They continue to do the pooch kick.
Just a little longer than they wanted there. Getting a return here with Coach James.
He'll be met and dropped at the 38-yard line. 11 seconds to go for Oregon. And what a first half it's been for Davis Webb. 21 of 30, 4 touchdowns.
He's been on fire tonight. He's demonstrated the type of touch that we knew he had. He's healthy tonight. No problems with his thumb. Even more, he's run the ball to keep the defense honest, but it's allowed him to be able to throw the ball with not a lot of pressure. Little trickeration here, throws back and just make sure, get it to where my guy can catch it. He's excited. He's having fun.
And why not?
Yeah.
When you're throwing the ball and your receivers are going into the end zone with it. Look at that drive chart. I mean, 4 touchdowns and a field goal. Yeah. Herbert will hand off to Taj Griffin, who will run for the sideline and get out of bounds. With 3 ticks left, maybe a chance to try and throw it deep and get a jump ball.
This is a Hail Mary opportunity situation. Certainly Justin Herbert has the arm strength, and they've got the receivers just to figure out which group they want in the game, and then you'll see the prevent defense from Cal getting depth in that secondary.
Mark Helfrich will take a moment, set it up before his team takes a shot at it.
And don't be surprised to see multiple timeouts here. Once Cal sees what formation they're going to come out, and they may take a timeout and say, hey, let's do this, cover this guy, get our big jump guy over there.
Yeah.
Match up how we can. Match up basketball.
Well, you'd hardly know it from looking at this Cal offense in this first half, but they have passed for a season low 124 yards in their last game against Oregon State. Of course, Davis Webb injured his thumb on depending on which you ask the coach or the player, it was the 5th or 6th play of the game, and didn't really say anything about it, but just was very much off target. And then they decided they could run the ball against Oregon State, and did, and nearly came back and won the game, sent it to overtime before the Beavers won out in that one. So here we go, last play of the first half. Justin Herbert to throw. whistles have stopped things. What have we? The Cal timeout.
Prior to the snap, timeout, Cal. Please reset the game clock to 3 seconds.
Well, as we talked about, Cal wasn't comfortable with the coverage. They want to make sure they adjust to cover the 3 receiver side, the single receiver side, and make sure they're going to remind them that nobody catches this football. You jump up, knock it down. Pass interference doesn't matter because it's only a 15-yard penalty. But the key is not to tap the ball up into the air. Make sure it goes to the ground. And you really can sort of hamper the receivers early because this ball's not going to be thrown quickly. So get in their face, pressure them a little bit, take them out of their route.
At the end of the Boise State BYU game last night, when the Hail Mary was thrown into the end zone by BYU and the Boise State defender tipped it up into the air instead of knocking it down.
I guarantee you every coach in the United States watching that game cringed at that point.
Yeah. Herbert's going to make some time for his receivers to get deep. Going to throw it. Knocked down. Threw it in the direction of Jaylen Brown, but Kahari Vanderbilt knocked it down. And the Bears, the Golden Bears, will run to the locker room, much to the delight of their home fans, with a 31-14 lead over Oregon at halftime. Let's head to Adnan Burke, Joey Galloway, and Danny Cannell back in the studio for our halftime report. Gentlemen. Fans, and the October of angst continues for the visiting team's fans. Cal 31, Oregon 14 here at Berkeley as we get ready to start the third quarter. Alan Bestwood, College Football Hall of Famer, Coach Mike Bellotti, former Oregon head coach for 14 seasons. Let's start with the Ducks, looking for that first conference win still. Talked about things that you wanted to see in the first half from them. What did you see in the first half from them?
I can't judge the effort. That's something I have to watch on film, but I can say there's not the execution on defense that Mark Helfrich hoped for after a bye week. Justin Herbert seemed a little nervous and overhyped in that first quarter. Took him a while to settle down. They got going, but the bottom line is the Cal defense has done a better job of stopping the Oregon offense than the Oregon defense has been able to stop Cal.
And on the other side of the ball, Davis Webb and the Bear Raid offense for Coach Sonny Dykes and Cal, they've pretty much done what they wanted to, all except for one possession.
Very comfortable throwing the ball, 4 touchdown passes, and Davis Webb's even carried the ball a couple times in crucial situations, which I was a little bit surprised at, but that's probably a wrinkle they put in over the bye week.
Cal gets the ball to start the second half. It will be down in the end zone, and we check down on the field with Chris Button.
Allen, 31 points isn't enough. We need to continue to score touchdowns. That was the message Sonny Dykes relayed to me in his discussions after halftime. You talked about Davis Webb running the ball more. He says he just likes what he sees from that on the short yardage situations. Defensively, he said, we got a lot of pressure on Justin Herbert in the first quarter. I want to see more of that in the second half and continue to make tackles.
All right, Chris, so there is Davis Webb and his numbers throwing the ball from the first half. He also did carry it twice for 12 yards, including on a key 4th down conversion. Keith Stovall, and a great start to this third quarter for the Cal offense.
The other thing that impressed me about the Cal offense in the first half was they rushed for over 170 yards and threw for about 150. So they are truly having that balanced attack that Sonny Dykes talked about.
Drayton Carlberg just limped off the field for the Ducks. He'd gone out of the game injured earlier, had come back in, now just limped off again. Kalfani Muhammad won't get much with his first carry from offense in this third quarter. Muhammad with 86 yards of rushing in the first half. Gets a couple there.
And Cal basically did what they wanted to do. They were unstoppable in that first half. They either got a touchdown or field goal on every drive but one. And certainly if Oregon's going to get back in this game, they got to get more stops this half.
Well, they need at least 3 and have to score on all 3 of those stops just to get even. They're 3 possessions behind in this one. And Muhammad will get a few and set up a 3rd down and about 4.
And this is a longer 3rd down than we've seen Cal in a lot of the time. They've been in 3rd down 1, 3rd down 2. This is still advantage offense. If you have off coverage, you can just throw it to a receiver. He used to be able to fall forward for 3 or 4 yards.
And they've not been afraid to go for it on 4th down tonight either. Muhammad will be right at the marker. Depend on the stop. Stop there by Kolana Apelu. And let's see.
Spot from this side is quite a bit short. They keep with this spot.
Moving down the field as the runner was short of the line to gain. 4th down.
All right, so 4th and maybe 2 feet.
They've been very good this year, as we talked about, on 4th down.
Evades a couple and gets across midfield to keep the drive going.
Poor angles, poor leverage. When you see two defensive players both take an inside rush and the back beats him to the outside, one of those guys should have took his inside shoulder, the other his outside shoulder. Maintain your leverage and know where your help is in the defense.
So that's 4 for 4 on 4th down tonight for the Golden Bears. I want to talk about that leverage concept in a minute. Davis Webb throws, coming back for the ball, but not successfully. Was Vic Wharton. So in coaching terms, leverage means,
well, where you are in relationship to the ball. And when you have two guys running free, they probably took the defensive end and went down inside, and a backer scraping to the outside. One should be on the inside shoulder running back, the other on the outside shoulder, so there's nowhere for him to go. When two guys go to the inside shoulder, he gets the outside edge and is gone.
and part of what you can use for your leverage is the sideline.
Correct.
Angles and how to get there, where you need to be, and cut off the forward attack. There's another forward attack for Trey Watson. Inside the 40-yard line, out of bounds at the 38.
One of the things you see too, when a defense is reaching out and grasping at running backs instead of squaring up to make a tackle, they're getting beat. They're not in position. They're slow to react. They're not making the play.
Tackling was something that we discussed with both Mark Helfrich and Brady Hoke, something that stood out as being fairly poor from the Washington game, as Webb has all kinds of time. Coming back to the ball. And a nice catch with Brandon Singleton, and he'll move the chains for Cal. One of the things that the Oregon defensive people talked about with their tackling problems was leverage was one of the words they used, and another was communication, that they just weren't lining up properly and communicating to execute the defensive call.
Exactly. Getting lined up soon enough to be able to see the blocking pattern emerge and defeat that, or get your eyes and your feet in the right place.
Little shake on the far side for Brandon Singleton, who took advantage of the laying off defender and then made him miss.
It's difficult. Right now, Oregon is trying to decide whether I come up and press the receivers on the outside. Are we athletic enough to do that? Do I give them space, play off so we don't get beat deep? I've got to rally to make the tackle. Both of these teams want to get speed in space and force you to make an open field tackle.
Get it up. Morris around to the other side. Watson as well. And here comes Watson. Grinding for a few inside, and it will be 3rd down and 2 for Cal. Just joining us and worked with us earlier, 2 players banged up at the end of the Oregon State game for Cal, Davis Webb and Chad Hansen, rather, the quarterback and leading receiver. Webb banged up early in that game. Hansen banged up late in it. Webb has played tonight. Hansen has not. He's been on the sidelines all night. Trey Watson's headed down to the 5-yard line.
So far, they've been able to lean on their running game to make up for the absence of Chad Hansen.
So on the opening possession of this 3rd quarter, another efficient march down the field. As you look at Hansen, one of the top receivers in the nation. He's been Webb's go-to guy for the beginning part of this season. But as the younger receivers have gotten more time and more experience, and frankly learned how to run more precise routes where they're supposed to be in this Bear Raid offense, they get Webb's confidence more and more. There's one through the hands of Vic Wharton, incomplete, and it sets up 2nd down and goal.
This is a huge drive. Any coach will tell you, whether he was ahead or behind, that first drive of the 3rd quarter is very important, because if you're ahead, you want to emphasize and not relax and take your foot off the pedal. If you're behind, you've got to get a stop, got to get the ball back, get a chance to score.
There's a different formation for the Bear Raid. Everybody in tight and pressure. Webb gets it away out of bounds before he is dropped to the turf.
Davis Webb under pressure that time. We talked about the play action fake. He's going to come back. Free rusher off that back edge, pressures him, takes him to the ground. Not too badly, though. No penalty there because he didn't finish that tackle.
Jimmy Swain with the hit on the quarterback. So 3rd down and goal from the 5-yard line. Going for the fade. incomplete, and no flags. Malik Lovett there defending Demetrius Robertson.
The Ducks chose pressure that time, wanted to get the ball out of his hands quickly. He went to the one-on-one route on the outside, just barely overthrown. I'll tell you what, decent defense that time. Defensive back in the perimeter, in the vicinity.
So as the field goal team comes on,
Malik Lovett there tries to get his eyes back to the ball, gets away with something there. Not enough contact. Coach Dykes talking about that and said, how did he get away with that?
So here's Anderson on. And the 22-yard chip shot is good. Didn't get 7, but got 3 on a nice opening drive to this second half for the Bears.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Beautiful Memorial Stadium, where they had their first game on November 24th, 1923. And still playing ball here today. The students still enjoying it. And I'll tell you what, my first visit here, to cut a stadium into the side of a hill like this on the top of Berkeley overlooking San Francisco Bay, you couldn't put a price on real estate like this now.
Pretty cool, but I want to let you know I was not there at that game.
Yeah. Another short kick and another fair catch, and Oregon will start at its 28-yard line. I wasn't going to question you about that. Okay. SEC Top 25 doubleheader on ESPN tomorrow, starting at 6 Eastern. Number 17 Arkansas, number 21 Auburn. Then down in Baton Rouge, LSU at 25th ranked, and the country takes on number 23 Ole Miss at 9. Both games streaming live on the ESPN app and on Watch ESPN. Joe Tessitore sending along word that after their meetings with the Auburn coaches, Gus Malzahn is out of the play calling business. Offensive coordinator Rhett Lashley will be calling the plays in that one. Look forward to Tess and Todd Blackledge and Holly Rowe on that one tomorrow night. Here's Royce Freeman. First time we've seen him for a while carrying the ball for the Ducks.
It's hard. It's not easy for a guy who's always called plays to turn it over to somebody else, but it's paying dividends right now for Auburn.
Nice play off of the tackle by Devontae Wilson. Off of the block, rather, to make the tackle. Fifth-year senior from Corona on the journey of his own. It's been documented well this year. Originally signed with USC, got injured, ended up going to Riverside Community College, wanted to pursue his dream of playing top-level college ball, wound up here at Cal, and has had a terrific career here for the Golden Bears. Have a first down there for Oregon to keep the chains moving on a Herbert pass. And down on the turf is Charles Nelson, the receiver, and concern for one of the top stars of this Oregon offense.
He hasn't been totally healthy for a couple weeks, and the coaches have talked about that, but he's such a warrior and a competitor. That's why he's not as involved in special teams right now. They want to save him for offense because he's one of the most versatile and dangerous weapons that they have. That's a shame for him to get hurt if it's anything serious.
Nelson, the junior out of Daytona Beach, Florida, leading the team in receptions.
It also
seems sorry to go out and check on one of his big players. Yeah,
and it seems to me they're trying to get Royce Freeman on track, and he just right now is not getting either the holes or the ability to hit the hole quite as quick as he would like, and that's hurting the Ducks in terms of Cal is playing a really good run defense on first down, and they tend to, when they run on first down, they're not getting a lot. Yeah. That might have been why they had some success that second quarter throwing the football on first downs and catching them in man coverage.
Well, hopefully Nelson is okay. The Seabreeze Sand Crab from Daytona Beach, Florida.
Yeah, that did not look good.
Well, he is walking off, but I'm sure that was a jolt to the system, and hopefully nothing more.
He's one of their best athletes, you know, fastest, strongest, quickest. I mean, he's just an excellent football player.
Did pick up the first down. Now on the field as play continues. Freeman running parallel to the line of scrimmage and can't get the cut up field.
Right now, the Cal defense is out quicking Royce Freeman to the hole. They're able to run along with him and match him stride for stride, and he's not able to gain that edge, or the offensive line is not able to create that crease where you can get north and south quickly.
A year ago against Cal, he carried the ball 29 times for 180 yards. He's carried it 9 times in this one tonight, and not gotten very much. Herbert's going to tuck and run. Slide down a couple yards short of the first down, and he had maybe a little more room to go.
Yeah, that's a hard thing to teach somebody who hasn't done it a lot. He probably never slid in high school. But when you go into that slide, the ball's immediately dead too, so you can get into the slide yardage.
Yeah. So 3rd and 3. Nothing doing for Freeman. Tony McCary was through almost untouched.
I don't know if that was a read play. It didn't look like it, because if I were Justin Herbert, I probably would have kept the ball. They're stopping Freeman before he can even get started.
So 4th down, and the punt team comes on for Oregon, where they need to score and get some defensive stops. Instead, it's the Cal defense that stops them.
Oregon has been known to do some fakes, but Cal is in their prevent or safe punt return. Probably not going to happen.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Too long shuffling people on and off the field, so back them up 5 and kick again.
And you know, if you were down inside the 40-yard line, 35, you might want, it's okay to get a 5-yard penalty because it would guarantee you wouldn't get the touchback. But when you're on your own side of the field, you don't want any type of penalty.
How about the fake punt out of their own end zone last night
that didn't work?
That didn't work.
Ended up at the 1-yard line.
Yeah, well, it's BYU that tried that one.
That
right?
was that was courage. I don't know if it was wisdom.
Yeah. Wheeler boots it away. Wharton again will signal fair catch and make it at the 20-yard line. So a 20-point lead for Cal over Oregon in this 3rd quarter, trying to remain undefeated at home. Bears have the ball in a minute. Well, tomorrow night, Ohio State at Penn State, the ABC primetime game. Last time the Buckeyes visited Happy Valley, they blew a 17-point lead, ended up going to overtime. J.T. Barrett had touchdown runs in each of the overtimes, and then the deciding moment of the game, Joey Bosa on 4th and 5 in the 2nd overtime, and the Buckeyes got out of there with a 31-24 win. ABC, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, plus streaming live on the ESPN app, and watch ESPN tomorrow. The whiteout game at Beaver Stadium as number 2 Ohio State comes calling on Penn State.
JT's back, and I hear there's another Bosa in town.
Trey Watson with a short gain on 1st down for Cal. Alabama, Ohio State. Who's your number 1?
Alabama. There's no question right now in my mind, although I think Ohio State may be one of the most talented teams in the nation. But I think we're going to find out something about Alabama this week. They're really highly favored over Texas A&M. I thought
a pick 6, or at least a pick, went right through the hands of Justin Hollins. Anyway, right Alabama, now, Ohio State.
Well, I just think Alabama is probably the most complete team on defense that there is. And Jalen Hurts is getting better game by game, week after week. He's a young player, but he has the ability to beat you with his feet, too. His arm's getting stronger. He's getting more confident in throwing the football. So I think they're going to be tough to beat. But I think A&M is built with a mobile quarterback, multiple receivers, a pretty good pass rush. Can they play run defense? That's the big question I have.
And can they play with coolness and calmness in Tuscaloosa? Dump it off to Muhammad underneath with a herd of blue jerseys out in front of him. He's very close to the 1st down. Very close. Might just be a couple of feet short when he's knocked down. As for Ohio State, I watched their game a couple of weeks ago against Indiana, where they just didn't look good and still found a way to win over a very much improved Indiana team.
They're probably one of the youngest teams in the nation. They're starting a lot of redshirt freshmen and sophomores, but they're so talented, and they're gaining understanding of how to win those type of games. But you know what? Doesn't matter how they win, they continue to win. Urban Meyer's record is something unbelievable. I don't even know what it is.
First charge timeout. Cal.
Cal getting ready to go for it on 4th down, and they'll take
30-second timeout.
Take the time to talk about it here. Sonny Dykes and company will. If you lined up Alabama and Ohio State right now.
Right now, I'd have to give the nod to Alabama. But as the season goes on, if Ohio State can continue to learn how to win close or games going away, I think they have the ability, much as they did a couple of years ago in the playoff.
Yeah.
They were the last guys to get in, and they won it all.
I looked at that Texas A&M Alabama game. The one thing that A&M's got going for it is they've got an experienced quarterback. He's been in the moment.
He's also beaten Alabama, as I remember.
He's been in the moment. Now, it's different playing at a neutral site bowl game, too, when half the people are your supporters, than playing in Tuscaloosa with 100,000 wearing crimson. And Davis Webb's pooch punt will sail sadly out of bounds, and Oregon will have plus field position to start this possession. Not the first time he's punted this season, by the way.
A 4th and 1 stop would have been huge, but this is the next best thing. A poor punt that gives Oregon probably the best field position they've started with all game long.
Yeah, without question.
But at this point in the game, too, down 20 points, they need to convert every single opportunity, and this is one that's given. It's a gift given to them.
So can the Ducks do something with that gift?
I'm surprised. Royce Freeman is still in the game, and I think they just believe in him. They trust him, but to me, he looks as if he's not 100%.
So the numbers on Justin Herbert. And the Ducks start at the Cal 40-yard line. Herbert under pressure. Nice. Still going out of bounds at the 15-yard line.
That's the athleticism and the speed for a guy 6'5", 6'6", that the Oregon coaches are so excited about, and they want him to do more of this. Just improvise and create. He may not know where to go with the ball all the time, but he can run it.
Freeman. 2 blue shirts right there waiting for him in the hole.
Yeah, you shouldn't have an unblocked guy, certainly not 2 unblocked guys at the line of scrimmage. As we've talked about before, on 1st down, it seems as if Cal is packing the box, maybe playing zero coverage, trying to sneak an extra safety down. Oregon's got to recognize that and take advantage.
Herbert's going to throw to Monk, the tight end. Can he get the goal line? Touchdown Ducks. Well, the 10-yard punt from Davis Webb and the plus field position turned into some points by the Oregon offense.
Oregon is still a quick strike offense. We've talked about this, but they certainly needed this. They need to score just about on every opportunity.
The ruling on the field is the runner crossed the plate to the goal line prior to the knee hitting the ground. The ruling's a touchdown. That play is under review.
At that angle, we really can't see where the ball is when his knee touches down, but I do believe it looks as if this would be a little bit better look right here. That's.
Yeah, you'd have to have a camera straight down the goal line to see that one.
I think it's too close to call in terms of overruling anything. It was called a touchdown on the field right, so.
See, from that angle where the camera's outside the goal line, it looks like the ball's there first. So that might be one of those that indisputable video evidence might not exist. See, because you can't tell where the ball is there in relation to the plane of the goal line.
He was fortunate to control that ball with just one hand on it like that. Those are the things that scare you as a coach, because if that fumble goes out of the end zone.
After review, it was determined the runner's knee hit the ground prior to the ball crossing the goal line. The ball will be spotted at the half-yard line on the far hash mark. 1st and goal. The clock will start on my whistle.
All right, so take the points off the board, put the offense back on the field.
And this is one more chance for the defense here to make some type of stop. They got to think about ripping and stripping the ball, and let's see who carries the ball for Oregon, who's in there.
Well, Freeman goes into the game.
He's the power back. He's the guy you want to handle the ball in this situation. Probably whether he's healthy or not.
Yeah. He's got it, and he's stacked up.
Well, you can see there's about 9 Cal defenders in the box. They're man on man at the top, single safety off, and this is just sell out. Don't let them run it in.
2nd and goal. Herbert to throw, back of the end zone, touchdown. Evan Bayless.
They like those tight ends, as we talked about in the pass game. They're great receivers. They've got range. And obviously, Justin Herbert very comfortable throwing on the run.
So, point after try to try and get it down to a 13-point gap.
I'm not sure that you're not disappointed to a degree, though. You want to be able to run the ball in from the 1 yard line or 1 foot line or whatever it was. And it's really a test of wills and strength and character down there.
Well, you know, and obviously Freeman is not the back that we saw in their 2nd game of the year against Virginia. You know, he's just doesn't look the same tonight.
Yeah, and he's still a good decoy, though, to affect the defense. Nice throw on the run, nice catch with to a rangy receiver going down the field.
He was a good decoy there. So Bayless, the 5th-year senior from Centennial, Colorado, 6'6", 250, gets his first touchdown of the season. And the Ducks are back to 13 behind the Bears. Can their defense get a stop and create a little more question in the minds of the guys wearing blue?
And I know if I'm Sonny Dykes now, I'm not talking about anything but scoring touchdowns. But if I can take a little time off the clock with each drive too, that would be the ultimate.
Yep. Well, for Cal, you look at their schedule ahead. Next week, their game is Thursday night at USC on ESPN. Then they go number 5 Washington here, at Washington State, Stanford here, and UCLA here to close out. You got to get, between tonight and the rest of those games, at least 3 more wins to get yourself into a bowl.
That's a gauntlet of really good football teams. And although Cal has proven they can score on anybody and they can play defense. When they stopped Utah, kept them out of the end zone at the end of the game, I was really impressed with that effort by their defense.
Trey Watson out to the 20-yard line before he's knocked out of bounds by Tyree Robinson. And so the Cal offense back onto the field, as is the Oregon defense. And see what Davis, Webb and company can do here.
Does the stop by the defense and the quick score by the offense somehow energize this Oregon defense?
Well, and if anything else, the 4th down pooch punt that only went 10 yards. We'll see if it how much harm it comes back to do. Webb almost had that ball knocked out of his hands. TJ Daniel was in there for Oregon. 91.
It was a nice job in coverage. The underneath defenders jumped some of the crossing routes, didn't allow him anywhere to go with the ball.
First sack of the game for the Ducks, first sack of the season for Daniel. The run game comes near side. That was Trey Watson. And not much there, just about back to the original line of scrimmage, now 3rd and long.
Oregon substituting to a nickel package, getting more pass rushers and more pass defenders in the game to match up with the potent Cal offense.
And so now we bring up 4th down.
Oregon was very lucky there. They didn't cover one of the receivers to the slot side, the 3 receiver side, and unfortunately Davis Webb couldn't connect with him.
First sideline warning, Oregon bench.
All right, people getting a little excited.
Well, the coaches are probably trying to get out on the field. Any positive thing that you can do, the positive energy, hopefully you're passing it on to your team, the team is passing it on to each other.
So 4th down, the Cal punt unit comes on for a rare appearance on this evening between all the times they've gone for it on 4th down and all the scoring they've done. Darren Carrington back deep to receive. Charles Nelson has gone to the Oregon locker room. Chris reports from the sideline. And flags.
False start. Offense, number 5. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Back him up and do it again.
Darren Carrington is known more for his hands than his ability to return the ball. He's more a guy that they want to catch the punts, but certainly they're going to get pretty good field position out of this punt situation.
Remember, he dropped one earlier.
That's true.
They were very lucky to get back on it because it went right underneath a Golden Bear kick team member.
And the guy with the good hands is not supposed to drop it.
Catches it on the run at the 50. Gets through a couple. Flag comes in from behind. So some of the excellent field position the Ducks were going to start with is going to come back. I'm guessing by those motions it's a block in the back being argued.
Yeah, I think it happened right around the 45.
During the return, illegal block in the back. 17 of the return team. 10-yard penalty for the spot of the foul. 1st down. Timeout on the field.
We can see right there this is where it happened, right in the back.
Yeah.
Tough because it's going to eliminate some of the good field position that Oregon earned.
San Francisco Bay and the Bay Bridge from Oakland across into San Francisco. Shot from one of our cameras here at California Memorial Stadium in Berkeley.
Is there a prettier place to be stuck in traffic?
Charles Nelson back from the locker room on the field as the Oregon offense takes over. There's Tony Brooks James, who's been one of the big producers for the Ducks tonight. And he has him down inside the 25-yard line.
Nice call, got the screen off, and he has the wheels to make him pay when he gets the ball in the open field.
So the defense got the stop. Can the offense get the points? Brooks James going the other way, just tripped up and dropped. That was Kahari Vanderbilt, who got a fingertip on a shoelace to drop him.
And that's what Oregon does very well. They get you running sideline to sideline, then the back will cut up in a seam, and he's got the speed to take advantage of that.
Good 1st down game. 4, 2nd and 6. Throw, there's Nelson back in the game. Right at the 1st down marker before he's dropped.
2 people wide open. I'm still not sure that Justin Herbert knows exactly where to go with the ball. Right now, he's finding the right receiver.
That almost looked like some people confused on where they were supposed to be. But they've got the 1st down at the 14-yard line. Brooks James has the ball and no place to go. Center of that Cal defense tightened up that time.
1st down. There's a lot of people in the box for Cal. They're playing an 8- and 9-man front when they can.
Player from each side down after that collision. Brooks James.
Timeout for injuries to both teams.
And that looks like Tony McCary, who's down for Cal, and it is. So the injury timeout here. Brooks James up, but coming off the field gingerly.
And they can ill afford to lose him at this point with Royce Freeman appearing to be not 100% healthy.
Oregon coaches told us last night that all of their tailbacks were banged up in one way or the other, as you'd expect at this time of the year.
Yeah, everybody is. But as I said before, coming off a bye week, you're the healthiest you're going to be for the rest of the season. You're probably going to play, 5 or 6 games straight through each weekend.
Remember, we saw Darius Allensworth limp off the field a little bit earlier for Cal. He is not in the game on this series. Josh Drayton is in at that corner. So 2nd down and 8. And Freeman in the game. And a touchdown for Oregon in the end zone. Wide open, uncovered. That was the tight end, Johnny Mudd. And things suddenly get a whole lot more interesting here in Berkeley.
Yeah, nice execution right there on the play, and good patience by Justin Herbert. Let it develop.
I don't think interesting would be the word that Sonny Dykes would use. And now Aiden Schneider on for the point after try. And a 6 6-point ball game.
Little screen to Tony Brooks-James, gets a lot of yardage, helps the Ducks offset that penalty they had earlier on the punt return. He's down inside the 25-yard line. And watch right here. Watch this guy sneak out through here. Looks like a running play. He sneaks right through the play fake, holds the defense. They're coming up, reacting to the run. Nobody covers the receiver in the backfield.
So 5 plays cover 57 yards in a minute 13. And we find ourselves with a 6-point ball game here. Something that looked fairly hopeless for Oregon a little while ago.
A 1-possession ball game. And let's see now. Obviously, the offense has caught fire a little bit. Defense got a stop, although albeit a 4th-and-1 situation. But really, can they sustain this? Can the Oregon defense step up right now?
Oregon's kick taken by Trey Watson. Hot. All of a sudden, there's a little fire inside those white jerseys.
Well, certainly this is what Mark Helfrich was hoping for coming out of the bye and facing an 0-3 situation in league.
Offside, kicking team number 54. 5-yard penalty and re-kick.
How do you have an offside on a kickoff?
Well, you're trying to get down there, but these are the type of things that have dogged the Ducks all season long. Too many penalties.
Again, the most penalized team by yards per game in the Pac-12.
You can see right there,
Yeah.
those guys are across the line, and you can actually be across the line. You can't have your foot on the ground before the ball is kicked.
So the big hit will go for naught, and they'll back up 5 yards and kick it again.
Those type of plays, though, big hits, can help to energize a sideline. And obviously they're going to need it, because when you keep getting penalties, you shoot yourself in the foot.
9th penalty, 89 yards in penalties tonight for the Ducks. That exceeds their season average.
That's an unbelievable kick right there.
Wow. Put some muscle in that one.
And I tell you, even kickers get excited sometimes. See?
So Cal on the touchback will get the start at the 25-yard line. Nice moment of celebration there for Matt Wogan, the senior from Indian Trail, North Carolina, which is just outside of Charlotte.
Probably one of the most consistent players on the team. All he does is kick off, but he kicks it off very far and very deep.
So the Bear Raid comes back. Davis Webb on the game tonight. 25 of 40 for 185 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Can the Oregon defense stiffen again? Hand off to Watson. Great first down yardage for the Bears.
He made a couple guys miss in the backfield, fought for more yardage. Can't miss tackles, and you guys stopped in the backfield.
222 yards of rushing tonight for Cal on this one. Against 185 passing yards.
Talked about the fact that they'd like to run the ball. Sonny Dykes said he'd like to run it 70% of the time. He's doing a great job. His team is doing a great job tonight exploiting their opportunities in the ground game.
Robertson will move the chains for the Golden Bears out to the 36-yard line.
When you're forced to commit more people to the box on defense to stop the run, what it does is lessen the ability to help coverage on the outside. Too deep look now. This is where the guys in the flats have a problem helping with the run and also covering the second receiver inside.
Here's the run. Nicely played at the bottom of the stack. Henry Mondew played off his block and got a wrap on the runner.
That is a great job, because there's a hat for a hat up front. Cal can block every single person in that Oregon defense front. Somebody has to defeat a block.
So second down, they gave Watson 1 on that one. They'll run it again into the center of the stack and not get very much, and it'll set up 3rd down and long for Cal. 51 Gary Baker there on the stop. Make it 3rd and about 6.
Once again, Oregon substituting to bring in a better pass rush group. Justin Holland's coming in at the end position. He's one of their best pure pass rushers.
8 for 17 on third downs tonight for Cal. Webb, ball tipped, and a penalty flag comes in.
Holding. Offense number 62. Penalty decline. Fourth down.
Dwayne Wallace, the redshirt junior right guard for Cal. So another fourth down for the Golden Bears, and the kick team will come on, and the Oregon defense is going to get another stop.
Better pressure that time, collapsed the pocket, kept the receivers down the field in check.
Yep. Penalty flags again, whistles.
Carrington got a practice catch back there.
I want to see what the penalty is on and which way that's moving. At 4th and 6, if it's a 5-yard penalty.
Disconcerting defense. Delay a game. 5-yard penalty number 24. Be fourth down.
So if you're up at the line and you're barking out signals, trying to throw the offense off or that kind of thing.
Did he say disconcerting?
He did.
Whoa, I didn't know that word was in the rule book.
So now it's 4th and 1, and the Cal offense comes back onto the field to go for it on 4th again.
And they've been successful many times tonight and many times this year. And Oregon getting out there so slowly that it's hard to get lined up. They've got to get themselves going.
They're all in tight. Nothing. They stopped them.
Tell you what, for lining up very slow, Oregon got off very fast. They reset the line of scrimmage a yard behind.
Cal's offensive formation pulled everyone in tight in a power look, and Oregon managed to stand them up.
And they're going to try to go power for power. You're right, very tight splits, but nice job of Oregon getting across and penetration there. They didn't allow themselves to be pushed back. Good pad level up front by the Oregon Ducks that time.
Thinking that was Khalil Oliver, 26, who got in there and made the final hit that stood him back. But the Oregon defense gets another stop. The offense gets the ball in Cal territory.
And the opportunity for Oregon to seize the lead for the first time in this game.
Justin Herbert with time, with nowhere to go. He'll run for the sideline.
Not sure what that play was really supposed to be. Some type of a fake, and then he was going to try to throw deep. It was covered. I would have liked to have seen him just run straight ahead, make a couple moves, and get north and south sooner. He'll figure that out over the course of this season.
Gave him 1. 2nd and 9. Just a little too far out in front of Jaylen Brown, though it did bounce off his hands.
Jaylen Brown wanted to run with that football. He should have made a greater effort to catch it, but he knew it would probably take him to the ground. I agree with you. That ball should have been caught.
So now it's 3rd and long. You're in 4-down territory here, right?
I believe so. Now this is incumbent. This is a huge stop opportunity for the Cal defense too.
Yes.
That 4th and 1, they can regain the momentum if they can hold Oregon right here.
Quarterback's going to keep it. It's going to come up a couple short.
It's a much more manageable 4th down now, probably about 4th and 2 or 3.
Too far for the field goal. Offense stays on the field. Huge, huge play in this ball game right here.
Got to be aware of the RPO run pass option for the quarterback. Cal up there with 7-man in the box.
Throws it to Brooks James. First down, Oregon.
Free release the back out of the backfield. Surprised the Cal defense.
So down to the 30-yard line are the Ducks as this 3rd quarter runs out.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter.
14 unanswered points to the Oregon Ducks. And what was on the verge of a blowout earlier is suddenly a 6-point ball game as we head to the 4th. Will it be Cal? Will it be Oregon? The 4th quarter coming up. The ever-recognizable Golden Gate Bridge across San Francisco Bay from where we are in Berkeley, where we have a ball game. As you can see from that score by quarters, it was all Cal early, but the third quarter very much belonged to the Oregon Ducks. And we start the fourth with the Ducks in possession of the ball at the Cal 30-yard line, trailing by 6. Their freshman quarterback, Justin Herbert, 15 of 25, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 167 yards passing. Royce Freeman going nowhere on that one.
It looks almost as if they're keying the backfield set of Royce Freeman and slanting always away from him to where he's going to go with the ball. I wouldn't be surprised to see Justin Herbert keeping the ball a few more times on that type of play.
Freeman will make a nice block to protect the quarterback. It'll be a little too far out of bounds in the direction of Evan Bayless, the tight end.
He actually had the other receiver on that side wide open to begin with, but he had to reset his feet. Saw a little bit of rush in his face. That's one of the things that a younger quarterback sometimes, and they say he's oblivious to the rush. He really doesn't see the rush, but you have to be able to feel it and keep your eyes trained down the field.
And the Cal defense get off the field unscathed. It's 3rd down and 11. Tony Brooks-James has been the go-to guy for the Ducks tonight. Flag comes in from the side. Mark Helfrich is applauding. We'll see what the flag is.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 7. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Kahari Vanderbilt.
This is the thing that Art Kaufman, there it is right there, guys. You can see it right in the middle, grab the face mask. But that's unfortunate because Cal would have been off the field or forced a long 4th down. And Art Kaufman, their defensive coordinator, talked a lot about the fact that needless, senseless penalties have cost them, kept them on the field, or allows drives to continue.
Set of 8 scoring drives against them recently. 6 were continued by penalties. Will this be another one? Herbert with the ball, throwing for the end zone. Too strong.
He waited on that throw too long. He held it. He's got to throw to a spot and let the receiver get there. That's what he'll learn over time. He's a young quarterback right now with a very gifted arm, but you can't wait to throw him open. You've got to throw him open before they get there.
And the long incompletion to the far corner of the end zone slows the tempo that the Oregon offense likes to get when they get things cranking. So 2nd down and 10 from the 15. Brooks-James looking for the outside. He's got the corner. Out of bounds at about the 3.
There were 2 Cal Bear defenders who had an angle on Tony Brooks-James. It wasn't there playing it improperly. It was his speed in the open field that made the difference.
Got a Cal player down at about the 15-yard line. Can't see the number, but an injury timeout here. Who's that? That looks that's James Looney. It looks like 9. Yeah. Looney, the redshirt junior from Lake Worth, Florida, one of the defensive leaders and playmakers for the Golden Bears. Glad to see him walking off.
He's their biggest playmaker up front. They love him and what he does and how he fires up this football team. They're very thin up there. Got a couple guys that they pressed into service and haven't played a lot of defense this year in the interior for them.
3 of the guys on their depth chart that play defensive tackle in the center of that defensive front out for tonight's game. So 1st and goal for Oregon, trying to take the lead from the 3. Brooks-James stopped short, but he's all the way down to the 1. Tony Brooks-James having himself a game tonight for the Oregon Ducks. 93 yards on the ground, 12 carries. He's already got 1 touchdown. That's going to come back.
Trying to jump the snap count and the penalty.
False start, 78 offense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
The penalties that bother coaches the most are those before the snap and after the whistle. Those are the ones that you struggle to understand, but that's where an offensive lineman, Cameron Hunt, trying to get off, get underneath the defender, just tried to jump that snap count a little bit.
So from the 1-yard line, backed up to the 6-yard line for 2nd and goal. Herbert throws, Tipped into the air, and it hits the ground. Dangerous moment there.
It is a little bit dangerous. You can always say he tried to fit that into a small window, and he put some heat on it. It's probably difficult to catch, throwing a little bit behind. He's got to learn to anticipate sooner, throw with a little bit more touch inside.
And the Bear defense hold him to a field goal. 3rd and goal. Herbert throws. Nelson. Touchdown, Oregon.
Nice job by the young quarterback, surveying the field, finding his open receiver. Great job by Charles Nelson, taken off the field, into the locker room, comes back, and scores the go-ahead touchdown.
Didn't see the ball hit the ground there.
No, I think that his hands were under it the entire time. He controlled it.
The ruling on the field of the catch in the end zone for a touchdown is under further review.
All right. They'll take a look at it. The ball was moving around, but I didn't see it hit the ground until he rolled over and secured it in his belly, but we'll see.
There's the throw. Very definitive throw. Hits him right in the stomach. We're not going to see it from this angle, but it doesn't look like his arms were at the ground. This should be a good angle right here. Ball is up. Looks as his arm. Part of the thing is he's got some stripes on his arm, the white bands that look like the striping on the ball. I think that's his arm that somebody may have thought hit the ground. He's got it, I think, and that's a touchdown.
Yes, yeah, I saw the ball moving for a second, but it never hit the ground until he secured it and rolled over with it.
I've talked about this before. He's a great athlete. He doesn't have great range because he's not very big, but that's a well-thrown ball down low and inside where only he can get it.
Charles Nelson from Daytona Beach, Florida, on the receiving end of the pass.
The ruling on the field of a touchdown is confirmed.
That puts Oregon ahead. Or has the potential to put them ahead. Let's put it this way. Let's not take those point afters for granted. I know.
Don't assume anything.
Yeah, I know.
You can't send it in. You got to play it.
Aiden Schneider gives the Ducks their first lead of the game. 11 plays, 44 yards.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Keeping Up with the Joneses, now playing only in theaters.
I feel safe in saying that Mom or Dad was a little crafty there, that they don't sell those in the souvenir shop that way.
I think that must be a mixed marriage. What do you think?
And a tense one at this point in the game, too.
Well, this game is not over by a long shot. I'll tell you what. Watch out with these offenses on the field.
Trey Watson's got the ball for Cal. They get dropped just outside the 20-yard line. That's where the Golden Bears will take over. Speaking of 20, celebrating its 20th year. Check that, 12th year. That's 12th, correct?
Hold it a little farther. I can't see us too close.
The Good Hands Field Goal Nets, All-State making contributions to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kicked. There are those eye drops for the contacts. All right, Cal offense has got to respond. That's Singleton. They have a few tough yards. Last 3 possessions for the Cal offense. 3 and out, and they turned it over on downs.
And I can't say if that's the Oregon defense stepping up, but I got to give them some credit. But certainly Cal has not been as efficient or effective the last 3 series.
Webb throws. With a nice cushion and making a couple of players miss. That's Bug Rivera. And a first down for the Golden Bears.
That's a heck of a throw all the way from the hash mark to the sideline, and with the separation to allow the receiver to make yards after the catch.
Ducks it off to Watson. He's got a little space. Be out almost to midfield before he's knocked down. Trey Watson continuing to have a big night for Cal. And they'll move the chains again.
Not enough pass rush, and Coach Mark Helfrich is talking about holding going on, and he's trying to work the officials just a little bit on its sideline.
147 yards of total offense for Trey Watson in this one. And counting.
I think the Cal offense got the message. Davis Webb has woken them up.
I would suspect there were some intense conversations over on that sideline.
Well, a team gets challenged, and you want to see how they respond. And when you have players that will challenge each other in a positive manner, that's the best thing you can have as a coach.
Keep it on the ground with Watson. And keep moving the chains all the way down to the 30-yard line is Trey Watson, the junior from Corona, California. Got an Oregon player down. That is Khalil Oliver. And an injury timeout.
Reggie Daniels already missing from that secondary. Khalil Oliver taking his place at the safety position.
Daniels missing tonight due to illness and not in the game at all. And so the medical staff attending to Khalil Oliver. And good to see that he is up and headed off to the sideline. You get the wind knocked out of you, it takes a minute sometimes to get things functioning again.
Cal going back to the running game that was so good to them in the first half and mixing up the short passing game on the outside, but it's the runs inside that are doing the damage.
Got 244 yards of rushing in the game. Does Cal. Watson wrapped up there by Troy Dye, excuse me, 35, the freshman linebacker for the Ducks.
Oregon getting pushed around up front. Their front guys, those down linemen, are not doing the job they need to protect the linebackers.
That throws complete. Patrick Warstow. And he'll move the chains for the Golden Bears.
Cal is flooding his zone and putting a man under and over a defender. Right now, Oregon has no answer for that.
Watson, wow, big crack in that hole. Kalana Apello with the initial hit and a strong one, and a flag is down.
Holding. Offense number 75. 10-yard penalty. Replay the down.
Aaron Cochran, the redshirt junior left tackle for the Golden Bears, so they'll set him back a little bit. And this is where you want to see in this drive, you know, at this point for Oregon, they've had no answer on this drive. Can they force him to a field goal? And for Cal, they've had nothing going here in these last few drives. Can they get the ball back in the end zone and reclaim momentum in this game?
Oregon came with pressure on that.
The penalty will be enforced from the spot of the foul beyond the line. First down.
And that worked for them, at least to fill the gaps. So it's almost like a run blitz. They're going to try and fill all the gaps. That play, that hold occurred very, very late. I'm not sure if he was just hanging on at the end, because I think the running back had already been struck and knocked down when the flag came out.
Referee Steve Strimling over explaining to Sonny Dykes and the Cal staff why the ball will be moved back and the first down markers will stay where they are. And maybe give it a little clearer picture of what actually happened in the pile there. They dump it off on the inside screen for Wharton, who gets quickly tripped up. And it'll set up a second down and still a bunch to go for Cal.
It's great when you can tackle that play before it gets started, because once you get down the field, you got a convoy of linemen, a little back behind them, and it's tough to tackle.
Wide open is Wharton. near side, chased out of bounds at the 14-yard line, still shy of what they need, and it sets up third down. That was a lot of horizontal running for very little vertical gain.
This is a much more manageable third down than they were facing before, though. The question is, if they don't get it, will they kick a field goal here? And I believe that they will.
Oregon showing a little pressure. Webb patient enough to wait it out.
I think they're coming because the safety coming down is what you really see. The linebacker's showing you, but the safety's dropped down too.
From the near side and throwing a ball to a receiver, looking to make a catch, and a touchdown it is! What a throw and what a catch! Watson.
That was a perfectly thrown pass.
Oh, goodness.
Couldn't do it any better. On the move, he knew where the pressure was coming from. Davis Webb rolls to his right, throw a perfect strike over the top to Watson coming out of the backfield.
Now they have to go for two here. This will be the third time this season the Golden Bears have gone for two. They're 1 for 2. Scored on a rushing attempt, incomplete on a passing attempt.
Notice where they placed the ball, sort of left center. Not in the middle of the field, not on the hash.
And that's the offensive team's choice.
Yes, exactly.
How about that? Cochran, the tackle split out wide.
I wouldn't cover him.
Little deception, wide open. Would you cover him?
I would try to cover him. You don't need to cover number 75 anyway.
J.D. Hennon, the tight end, sneaks out and gets the two-point try successfully. What a throw, what a catch from Webb. Trey Watson gets it, and then the two-point try is good. The guest picker.
You like that?
I do.
Fires you up a little.
Well, I think it's terrific. Vern is one of the best ever in our business, and it's great that a little cross-network cooperation will see him have some fun with our guys.
Would you like to do that sometime?
Yeah, I would, but of course, you know,
Yeah, I know.
I'm just
when
the
you
guy.
retired a long time.
I'm just the guy. Tony Brooks-James rolls out, but it rolls out of bounds before possession changed. I thought it rolled out of bounds. Let's see. They're talking about it. Did the ball contact the ground out of bounds, or any player in contact with the ground out of bounds?
That's the bounce of the ball, and I think we're going to have to take a look and see. It definitely came out. There was no question about that. It looked as if it was going to go out of bounds. Then it had to maybe touch somebody. It can't touch somebody on the Cal sidelines.
So they'll talk about it. Very crucial call here, and
no
sort
question.
out.
And there's a penalty flag down too. So
The ruling on the field is the runner fumbled the ball forward and it went out of bounds. The ball is returned to the fumbling spot. During the return, holding number 15 of the receiving team. That penalty will be 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
So even when Oregon gets some luck on the bounce of the ball, they shoot themselves in the foot with the hold. There's the hold right there, 15. You can see it hanging on. There's the ball, and the ball.
Yeah, it's out of bounds.
Yeah.
Clearly.
But it was very close. It's the bounce of the ball. I'll tell you what, football is a funny game.
Yes, it is.
I think I used to make a living worrying about that kind of stuff.
So a 7-point game. Oregon has come back. Cal has now re-grabbed the momentum and taken the lead. The penalty pushes the Ducks back to their own 21-yard line for this offensive possession. And the freshman quarterback, Justin Herbert, 16 of 29 on the game. His confidence seems to have grown after a very shaky first quarter. Can he lead the Ducks back downfield again? This will be Freeman. Just has not had anything going tonight as we check downstairs with Chris.
Alan, that scoring drive was not just big for momentum for Cal, but also for their defense. After those several three and outs, they were winded, having trouble breathing, so they look ready to go. And on top of that, Mark Helfrich is trying to get his team ramped up and paid with some extra pace.
All right, Chris. Something to keep an eye on as the game goes. Herbert throws complete. Near side, Charles Nelson. Tripped to the locker room earlier, came back out, scored a touchdown.
Yeah, he's still a little ginger on that leg, though. See, he caught that ball, just went to the ground. He didn't try to make any yards after catch. That's unlike him.
Had his left leg landed on pretty heavily in a play earlier.
Penetration. My gosh. As he took the handoff, and I don't know if that was the read guy, but the reality is he's in the backfield before the running back even gets the football. Let's take a look here. Yeah, that's just he did a great job of making a guy miss. Used a swim technique, went right over the top. Duck linemen got to do a better job of making sure that you don't get that type of penetration.
So
hat for a hat.
The huge loss. Look at it. 2nd and 17. Gonna throw. We'll have it complete out on the far side of the tight end, Johnny Munt, but not a great gain, and set up 3rd down and about 12.
They've got one-on-one coverage with Drayton on Charles Nelson. And right now he's giving Nelson a huge cushion. I'm surprised they didn't go right back to him once they got that completion on 1st down.
Pressure. Dumps it off on the screen. And Griffin's got a lot of yardage, but penalty flags come in. Three of them, to be specific.
At some point, you have to question the discipline of a team that keeps getting themselves penalized.
Personal foul, chop block. 55 and 70 on the offense. 15 yards from the spot of the foul. Replay 3rd down.
Jake Hansen and Zach Morgan from the offensive line. Can't hit low and hit high at the same time.
Guys, stay off the 0-2-0.
Once again, that took away a play that was a big yardage play and a 1st down.
13th accepted penalty against the Ducks for 124 yards.
You look right about here. Watch right in here. The high-low, and that's exactly textbook of what you cannot do.
So now talk about 3rd and forever. Got time. Lets it go deep. Almost pulled in, and another flag down on the field. Darren Carrington literally spun in a 360 trying to get back to that ball.
And he didn't need to. One of the things you tell your receivers is continue to run. Don't turn back to the ball because you can't run backwards.
Defense number 17. 10-yard penalty by rule. Automatic 1st down.
Oh, huge break for Oregon. Luke Rubenzer gets ticketed.
And that's got to be frustrating for the Cal defense, the players on the field, and the coaching staff, because they've talked about that. We discussed it earlier. You can't allow them to keep a drive alive with your penalties.
Defensive coordinator Art Kaufman telling us when we met with him yesterday about getting off the field, and penalties have extended drives in a costly way. Look at that. He spun around on a 360 and it still hit him on the hands. But they get the 1st down. Still, though, back at their 27-yard line are the Ducks. And the Cal defense facing the challenge again of finding a way to get off the field. Taj Griffin. It's a good 1st down gain.
Has Oregon ran about 8 or 10 plays and never moved a yard? They've been in that same area.
I know it.
Seems like for the last 2 minutes.
The penalties up and back, and up and back, yeah. I thought he got a few more than they got him, so give him about 3. 2nd and 7. Griffin is out. Tony Brooks-James is in. Ball into the hands of Pharaoh Brown. Popped at the marker. Careful. And there it is. Marleshon Franklin. I'm sorry, but you just can't do that.
No, you're absolutely right. And I would say that Pharaoh Brown should have just kept running. He looked back to see where they were coming from, and he got hit really well. But you can't stand over a guy.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense number 18, 15-yard penalty, results in an automatic 1st down.
You hit him, you tackled him, you did a nice job knocking him down, then you pushed him back into the ground and stood over him. And I'm sorry, I disagree with the home fans there. You just can't do that. And then you kicked him in the head.
Well,
I'm sure that wasn't intentionally, but
No, and that's unfortunate because he did make a great play and a great tackle. Although Farrah Brown, I'm not sure where his eyes were. His eyes should have been on the first down. He was looking back at the defender coming from the inside and didn't see Marlon Franklin going to lower the boom.
So another penalty moves the ball out to the 50-yard line. Brooks James squirts through a hole. Big gain on first down. Give him 7.
And what momentum the Cal offense got back with the last drive. The Cal defense, via the penalties, has given back to Oregon.
I can't disagree with any bit of that. It's patient running there from Brooks James. Look into the crease. They'll get the first down yardage, move the chains. Oregon down by 7. 6.5, inside of 6.5 to go in this ball game. They were down a bunch earlier, 20 points. Herbert moves the pocket, throws. Carrington tried to come back for the ball. 2 Cal defenders there, including Franklin, who got ticketed for the penalty just a little bit ago.
Slightly underthrown. Justin Herbert could have kept running on this play, but he chose to put the ball up. You see a double move by Carrington right there. Has his man beat, has both the safety beat. Ball's underthrown slightly. Comes back, and could have been an interference call there again, but probably a good no call.
Here's Freeman. Penalty flag comes in. We'll see if it's coming back.
Are the officials going to run out of laundry at some point?
You know,
wow.
Holding, offense number 56. 10-yard penalty. Replay second down.
Well, Brady Aiello, the left tackle, the way the flag came in from the far sideline and the outside edge that Freeman got to led me to believe that that might be what was coming.
Yeah, no question. Going that way. The speed cut. Watch him right here. Let's take a look and see how this play. He actually thought the play was going inside right there. He just hangs on a little bit too long.
When that jersey starts to get tugged down off those shoulder pads, that's a giveaway every time.
And Maurice Freeman chose to go outside. He thought he'd try to help him.
So now the penalty sets the Duck offense back. In and out of the hands and a little bit behind Charles Nelson. I understand the back shoulder throw, but that one just a little bit too wide.
Yeah, and the timing of the route just a little off. So that's probably just a question of repetition with the young quarterback Justin Herbert getting used to the timing of when that ball needs to be thrown and where.
So big third down here for the Cal defense. Oregon well outside of field goal range. And in a close game like this, I don't think it's 4-down territory either.
This might be decided by who doesn't get the penalty on this play.
Yeah, no kidding. Timeout. Cal.
Second charge timeout, Cal.
So the Golden Bears staff saw something they didn't like in the matchups, in the alignments.
Timeout on the field.
And have whistled it down with a 7-point lead. 5:35 to go in the ball game here in Berkeley. And Peach Bowls, with the winners going to Tampa for the national championship game on January 9th. It's turned into a good one here. Cal leading by 7. 5.5 to go, fourth quarter. Oregon with a big 3rd and long. Justin Herbert throws deep downfield. Receiver is stumbling. Carrington, and it's incomplete, 4th down.
Not a great throw, but the receiver lost his balance running down the field. I think a little bit jostling with the defensive back, but obviously no interference, just couldn't quite connect.
Luke Rubenzer was the defender there.
He's beaten pretty badly. He does reach out and push. That could have been called, but has been pretty much overlooked tonight.
So the punt team is on for the Ducks. There is a Cal player down on the field. That is James Looney. Second time tonight we've seen him down for an extended moment. Obviously able to come back into the game from the first one. hopefully none the worse for wear from this one, though you see very Ginger getting up.
Talked about they have no depth at the defensive tackle position. When they need him, even at half speed, they're going to need fresh bodies to come in and try to stem the tide.
Luke Beckett, Russell Uday, Rusty Becker all out tonight at the defensive tackle spot for Cal. So the Oregon punt team is on. Ian Wheeler will stand at his own 38-yard line. And it will be Vic Wharton back deep to receive. I think he's fair caught every punt that Wheeler's made to him tonight. Wharton stands at his own 10-yard line. Pressure on the kick. Fair catch signaled for. He'll make it at the 5. And that's where the Golden Bear offense will take over. SEC Top 25 doubleheader for you Saturday on ESPN. At 6 Eastern, number 17 Arkansas and number 21 Auburn. And then at 9 Eastern, number 23 Ole Miss into Death Valley to play number 25 LSU. And both of those streaming on the ESPN app and on Watch ESPN app. It is a massive day in the SEC West on Saturday with the Alabama-Texas A&M matchup as well as those two games we just talked about.
Yeah, that Alabama-Texas A&M matchup, I'm going to love to be able to watch that. That excites me a ton.
So Cal leading by 7. Offense on the field, 5:20 to go. Calfani Muhammad with some running room outside. First down.
And one of the things we're going to see is the Bear raid going to go into the Bear hibernation. Are they going to try and take time off the clock, run the ball? They're a no huddle team, but they can take a lot of time getting in the right play. And they've been able to run the ball very successfully tonight. With 5 minutes left in this game, at this pace, they could run the clock out if they're effective.
266 yards of rushing tonight for Cal as part of their 515 of total offense. And Calfani Muhammad, you just saw, with 116 yards on the ground. And a few more.
Malik McMorris just put a heck of a hit on a defender. I'm not sure who it was, but it was a collision. And obviously, Cal is going to try to run this ball, run the clock. Oregon has 3 timeouts left, so it's just a question of when they want to start using them.
First, you got to put some pressure on the Cal offense, right? Get them into a 2nd and long, 3rd and long.
You'd like to, you got to get a good stop on first down and then call 3 straight to get the ball back.
Morris leading the way. Webb's going to pull it and throw. Knocked away. Tyree Robinson defending on the far side against Vic Wharton and incomplete. Sets up 3rd down for the Golden Bear offense.
Fortunately for Oregon, that stops the clock. So obviously that's the issue with trying to throw the football in this situation.
So Cal substituted, so they step over the ball while Oregon substitutes, and now the 3rd down and 6.
Just a 4-man pass rush for Oregon.
Webb with a wide open receiver, and it was over the top of Demetrius Robertson, and 4th down.
Oregon got the stop they needed at this point. Their offense has to respond, and both teams need to avoid penalties down the stretch.
Little fingernail chewing going on in that student section.
That's the chef. I hope he doesn't cook and chew his finger at the same time.
Well, his team was cooking earlier in the game, but things have slowed down for him since then. Wow, dangerous catch by Carrington. The flag comes in. That was Warstill that got up limping after going charging in there. And we'll check the penalty. Man, we've had some flags tonight.
I think that was kick-catch interference. I don't think he gave him the opportunity to catch the ball unmolested.
Kick-catch interference, kicking team. 15 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
Well, that's going to help
Media timeout.
the Oregon side and hurt the Cal side. Oregon's ball, 4 to go. Game's winding down here in Berkeley. That means they're gearing up for SportsCenter at night with Max and the coach. Highlights and analysis from today's games in hockey, NBA preseason. Get you ready for Sunday and Saturday football. SportsCenter at night next on ESPN. Streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. Was that the chef with the game menu for us?
I think so.
So Justin Herbert, can the true freshman quarterback be the hero for the Ducks? His team down by 7, inside of 4 to go. He's going to carry the ball here with open turf in front. Across midfield and down to the 42-yard line before Luke Rubenzer brought him down.
Well, the table is certainly set for him. And there you see he's not the fastest athlete right now. He's more of a galloper, but he does have some athleticism. He is a threat to run, but I think to win this game he's going to have to throw the ball and throw it well and accurately down the field.
Got a throw there, got a receiver open, but it was knocked away. Farrell Brown had it, but Marlon Franklin took it away.
Farrell Brown's got to try to catch that, but that ball could have been thrown a little earlier, anticipating that break. Seemed to me it was waiting for him to get open, which obviously we've talked about. A young quarterback will tend to wait till he sees them open rather than have the courage to throw them open.
Scott Nelson, who's got turf ahead of him, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Oregon.
1 or 2. That's the question. You're on the road, but I'm going to guess right now they're going to kick it simply because of the time left in the game.
What a drive. Quickly, aided by the penalty, the kick-catch interference, the field position aided, but Oregon quickly down the field. And now Aiden Schneider on to try and tie the ball game. Tied at 42. Charles Nelson with the touchdown for Oregon.
Just take a look now. This is why he came off the training table to come back on the field. This is why he's so dangerous. One step and he can leave everybody behind. Nice job of Herbert. Accurate pass. Look, his eyes away from that. Looks away from that side to freeze the safety. Lets Nelson catch the ball underneath him. He does the rest.
So 56 yards in 3 plays and 36 seconds off the game clock.
Yeah, it's not textbook for how you close out a game, but if you want to score and you want to score quickly, watch these two teams.
Oh, Duck doing a lot of push-ups now. And now the ball back in the Cal offense's side of the field. Matt Wogan to kick. Saw him kick one after a penalty right through the end zone earlier. Let's see if he's feeling a little juiced up, or if they want it kept in the field of play. Will be in the field of play. It'll be Trey Watson. Oh, it's got on edge. Nice shoestring tackle by Jawan Williams to save what could have been a disastrous play for Oregon.
As a coach, as a former coach, your heart jumps up all the way to your throat every time you see somebody miss a tackle out there and a guy burst into the open, especially on a kickoff.
If he didn't get him by the shoe tops, then Watson had a lot of room around that edge.
He would have been gone, I believe.
So here's Cal now with the ball. Starting on its own 17.5-yard line. Davis Webb's going to hand off. Kalfani Muhammad. Beautiful 10-yard run on first down.
He did a great job of ducking in and out, setting up blocks, continuing to find the open seam down the field. And I thought I saw Davis Webb actually block the Ed man on the line of scrimmage for him.
That'll win you some points in the film room on Monday, won't it?
That's exactly right. The offensive line will block harder for you after that.
Muhammad again. Good comeback tackle there. That was that TJ Daniel, 91, yeah, that came back to get him. And an Oregon player down and slow to get up. And that is Rex Manu, a sophomore defensive tackle for Oregon. Hopefully just a cramp. Well, I have to tell you, Coach, we started this game talking about Oregon being winless in the Pac-12, getting blown out by Washington in their last game, having the bye week. How will the team respond? First 4-game losing streak in a decade, and their first quarter and really first half defensively was not a good look for the Ducks, but something changed at halftime, and they've come back in this second half.
I think they realized that if they were going to win, they had to play better. It's very simple. You can talk about it all you want, but the players on the field make those decisions. They force themselves to not just give the effort, but to finally find the execution that results in a potential victory. Nobody's won this game yet. They're still in it. Both of these teams, I'm interested to see how these defenses respond to being in this situation as much as the quarterbacks.
Yeah, can't tell you if they're going to win it, but I would think.
But they have a chance to, which is different from what we saw at halftime.
Exactly. I think if you're walking away from this as an Oregon fan, you have to be pleased with the response and the effort that you've seen.
Yeah, you have to feel better about the grit and the heart of this team.
And if you're a Cal fan, you're trying to stay undefeated on your home field, and you've got a chance. You've got the ball and a wide open receiver on the far side. Bud Rivera will be out close to midfield, and a first down for the Golden Bears.
Troy Dye is getting sort of picked on in coverage. He's an outside linebacker, true freshman, but he got picked and sort of rubbed off that time and struggled to find the receiver, and they're going to do that a lot, so you got to be prepared for that. Davis Webb, very crafty, knows where to go with the ball.
Cal with just the one timeout left after using a couple earlier. Webb's going to dump the screen into the middle, and it'll be Muhammad. Short gain as he's pursued to the near sideline. Ugo Amadi will get credit with the stop.
Cal only has one timeout. 2 minutes going. They still have plenty of time because all they need is to set up a field goal opportunity.
Matt Anderson's their field goal kicker. He is one of the best in the Pac-12 for sure.
I think he's 11 out of 12 or something like that this year.
He is 11 out of 12, including hitting one earlier tonight. Good pursuit laterally by the Oregon defense as Muhammad tried to turn it upfield, couldn't find an opening to do so, and it sets up a third down and long for Cal.
Oregon substitutes, as we talked about, to get their better pass rush group in. Jalen Jelks gets in there. He's made some plays tonight, but this is a huge play in the game. 3rd and 9. Long third down opportunity. 3 wideouts for Cal.
And a whistle.
Coach
and a timeout from the near side.
First timeout, Oregon.
He didn't like that look. He decided he wanted to talk it over before they saw the play.
So the first of a busy weekend of play in the Pac-12 has been an exciting one on this Friday night. And you see that Oregon trying to get its first conference win. Cal trying to get even in conference play, but push toward bowl eligibility. They have got a road ahead.
Oregon
that is a tough one.
To use their full 1-minute timeout.
And, you know, some interesting games on the schedule as well. Utah and the UCLA. Washington State, after Mike Leach's comments in a press conference earlier this week, accusing Arizona State of perhaps poaching some signals, for which he was fined and reprimanded by the Pac-12.
He's lighter by about $10,000.
He's lighter by 10 grand, and of course the Cougars head down to Tempe to play the Sun Devils this weekend.
And the Apple Cup is a long ways off, but that's certainly Washington State both being undefeated at this point in time.
Now there is your field goal kicker, hoping for a chance to be the hero. Davis Webb, the quarterback, with time, dumps it off, got a receiver wide open, and a first down. Raymond Hudson will move the chains for Cal.
Little follow play, nice design. They ran the guy right at the linebacker, then followed right behind him with the eventual receiver. Did a nice job of fighting for that first down yardage.
Webb with all kinds of time finds a wide open Trey Watson. He reaches forward, give him about 6.
Oregon content right now to just rush 4 and sit in zone. I don't know if they can survive this because Davis Webb has the capability to pick you apart.
Time running down, coming up on a half-minute to go. Need to get the ball down to the 31 to match the distance for what would be the career long for Matt Anderson. Webb throws outside, complete. Running for the sideline is Vic Wharton, and he's down to the 30-yard line. 24 seconds to go.
Right now, the Oregon defensive backs are concerned about, do I attack the ball? I don't want to get anything thrown over my head, but obviously we know that the field goal opportunity is looming.
Hand it to Watson, and he's got some room. Inside the 25 to the 23, and the clock runs. 15 seconds to go. Will Sonny Dykes call the timeout here and kick the field goal now? The answer appears to be yes.
And this play is going to come down to one game. One play of the game, one kick.
Cal, this is a full 1-minute timeout.
Kickers can often be maligned, but they face situations at the end of these games.
Please, game timer, please put 4 seconds on the game clock. 4 seconds.
Few other players will face by themselves. Anderson does have a game-winning field goal in his career. He kicked one at Arizona State last November. So he's been in the situation before.
I used to coach the kickers at Oregon and at Chico State, and I used to try to go out and tell them a joke. And they got tired of hearing my jokes, so they said, "Coach, don't do it. I'm okay.
Yeah,
relax." I said, well, "I'll relax if you relax." So we're okay.
Anderson, the redshirt junior from Danville, California, on the Lou Groza Award watch list this season for the top kicker in college football, and a chance to be the hero here for the Golden Bears. They got out to a lead, stalled out. Oregon came roaring back, and now from 41 yards. Cal trying to remain undefeated on their home field this season. And a timeout from Oregon.
Second charge timeout, Oregon. 30 seconds in length.
Not surprising.
Freeze the kicker, yeah.
I almost think this day and age, it almost make a kicker more unsettled to be out there waiting for you to call the freezing timeout, and you don't do it.
Yeah, you're exactly right. The either or at the end when you have a timeout left, and you're sort of standing next to the official, bluffing it.
2 for 2 tonight is Anderson. Kicked one from 22, kicked one from 37. But this one from 41 is either going to set off a big groan or it's going to set off a wild celebration down onto the campus on this Friday night.
This game will either be over or we're headed to overtime.
Matt Anderson for the win for Cal. Another whistle. Another timeout, Oregon.
Third and final timeout, Oregon. 30 seconds in length.
Good call, Coach Elfridge.
That's all the timeouts you get. Next time they snap it, it's going to be for real. He got the warm-up through.
He did. He did.
Well, can Oregon get there and get some pressure?
Well, who are Oregon's jumpers, or who's a guy that can push the pile inside? And maybe a guy like Jalen Jelks, who's 6'6" and got some springs or something like that. You try to find those guys and determine who you want to put right where the flight of the ball is.
All right. Will the third time be the charm? He missed it. Wide left. Overtime in Berkeley.
Feel bad for that young man because, like I said, I've coached kickers and my sons have played that position. And as you said, a lot of pressure, a lot of glory when you make it, a lot of angst when you don't. Just push that a little bit left.
Just a little too much. Those officials stand right under the goalposts and look straight up. And it just drifted. And so Oregon gets a second chance. After Cal drove down the field in position to try and win it. And it was not to be for Sonny Dykes. Headset back on and it's back to work. And now you got to pick that kicker up because he may have to win it for you in overtime.
Absolutely correct. You got to be right behind him, pumping him up, because in the overtime situation, as you know, you get a choice of the ball or starting on defense or whatever.
Period. Each team is entitled to one timeout during the overtime period. That's one possession for each team. Okay? The winner of the coin toss will have the option to play offense or defense or decide which end of the field to play. The loser of the coin toss will have that other option. Okay? If the score is tied after one overtime period where each team has the ball, then the team who loses the toss will have the same option. Okay? Oregon's going to make the call. That's heads. That's tails. That's heads. What's your call? Tails is called. It's heads. Cal would like to play defense. Which goal do you want to play at? Which way do you want to play? You're going to defend here? Okay. Turn around. Turn around. Cal won the toss and elected to play defense. Oregon's ball, first down at the 25.
So overtime in the Pac-12 after dark. Who's going to win it in Berkeley tonight? It's been a good one so far. So to overtime we go here in Berkeley. Cal and Oregon tied at 42. Golden Bears had a chance to win it on a last-second field goal. It went wide left. So they've had the coin toss already. Cal has chosen to defend. Each team gets one possession from the 25-yard line. And after the second overtime, you got to go for two, starting in the third. Justin Herbert and the Duck offense from the 25. Tony Brooks-James has most of five on first down.
Remember, one of the real keys is you want no penalties and no turnovers. Turnovers automatically almost take out the opportunity for you to win the game. And penalties will continually push you back from field goal position, which is the last thing that you want to do.
Herbert with time, throws, has a receiver into the end zone. Jaylen Brown.
They like Jaylen Brown a lot. He doesn't have the greatest speed, but he's got great hands and great body agility.
So now these point after kicks in an overtime become very critical also. Not like they aren't all game long, but particularly in an overtime they become pressure filled. Aiden Schneider.
You're absolutely right, and all of us assume that the kicker's going to make it.
He's 18 for 18 this season coming into tonight. And has made the ball tonight. Two plays to get it done on his first try at overtime for Justin Herbert.
Watch the route right here. Gets a clearing route from Nelson, then comes underneath. Great focus on the ball. Ball a little bit on his back shoulder, but watch Herbert's eyes now. Looks off the safety. See him look to the other side of the field, come back to his intended receiver, puts it on him. Nice execution for the young freshman.
So the coin toss, you go on defense first to try and get your defense to make a stop, maybe make the other team settle for a field goal. But when you don't, and the other team gets into the end zone, now the pressure squarely swings to the other side and your offense, because they've got to score.
And it makes it easier because you know what you have to do. You have to score a touchdown. So it's very simple. All the plays, the whole darn world is 4-down territory.
So Davis Webb and the Cal Bear offense start at the 25. They played an overtime game just a week ago. Their last game out, I should say, a week and a half ago. Kalfani Muhammad will have great yardage. And a first down for the Golden Bears. Oregon player down right on the numbers on the 20 on the far side of the field. That is A.J. Hotchkiss, the junior middle linebacker from Portland.
They just got him back after he had been hurt for quite a while.
Had gone to the sideline earlier in the game. You see him being helped off, not putting a lot of weight on one of those legs. That's tough.
And despite the bye week, this is back-to-back overtime games for Cal.
Yes.
Which does stress your body and stress your team.
I think the coaches are probably pretty stressed right about now, aren't they?
No stress whatsoever. Just another day at the park.
So a first down for Cal at the 15-yard line. They must score and make the point after to send it to another overtime. Brendan Schooler, 43, the single safety back there. Center of the field for Oregon. Swing it out near side. Bug Rivera at the 5, at the 4, at the 3.
Troy Dye walked in to talk to his defense. I don't know if he's faking blitz, but Webb saw it, threw the ball to the receiver that he had to cover. Very poor choice at that point in time.
First and goal for Cal from the 3. Muhammad trying to get outside. He'll get stopped. And another Oregon player is down on the field. That's Troy Dye.
Have to leave the field. He is a great playmaker. He's just a true freshman. Sort of been in and out of the lineup, either due to injury or whatever, from the first game of the season, but he makes an impact when he's in there.
So he's to the sideline. Cal has a second down and goal. And they're on the 1-yard line going in.
There's obviously no safeties back. That's an 11-man front for Oregon.
Whistles and a timeout, Oregon.
Timeout, Oregon. 30 seconds in length.
That is their timeout of the overtime. Till we get to another one. And so a minute to talk it over for Mark Helfrich. Brady Hoke and company didn't like what they saw on the second and goal from the 1. So the Ducks trying to get their first conference win of the season and end a 4-game losing skid, their longest losing skid in a decade. So many questions and so much swirl up in Eugene, and nothing done in the first half of this one to ease that, but they sure have turned it around in the second half tonight.
On the flip side, Cal looking to continue their home field domination, undefeated at home.
Second and goal from the 1. Muhammad didn't get there. Down at about the 1-foot-yard line.
Was down prior to the goal line in possession. Third down.
Looking to go tempo. They're going to try and run a play very quickly.
Spread them out. Hand it off. Nope, Webb pulls it into the end zone. Touchdown, Cal. And so now, the point after try to tie the game and send it to a second overtime.
Becomes very important. But also, Davis Webb has chosen, or his coaches have chosen some great times to keep the ball. Because he doesn't usually carry it, but he's done 3 or 4 of those tonight that resulted in either first downs or touchdowns.
Matt Anderson ties the game. Well, Davis Webb doesn't run often, but this one certainly counted for a lot. And we're even at 49 and a second overtime coming up. Ready for the second overtime here in Berkeley. Cal's offense on the field. They've swapped ends of the field. Oregon choosing to play deep. Just after running into the end zone, Davis Webb and the Cal offense back at the 25-yard line, looking to see if they can get it into the end zone again and apply some pressure to the other side.
They've done a nice job running the football tonight, and it's been their MO in this overtime period.
Trey Watson will be the running back next to Davis Webb this time. He will have the ball. They'll have 6 or 7 before Troy Dye wrestles him down. Dye back in the ball game, though still a little bit ginger.
Cal figuring in the big group. Malik McMorris, number 99, 310-pound running back. And he can actually handle the ball. We saw him on that kickoff a couple weeks ago. A nice, smart play to pull it out.
The ball bounced off the kick returner out of the end zone into his hands. Here's Webb, going to look to throw. He's going to run out of bounds. They'll have third down. And about 4.
Based on the way this game has gone, I'm not sure that if they have a fourth down shorter than that distance right here, that they may not go for it. They might kick a field goal. I think they'll go for it.
Webb throws, third down. Now first down for Vic Wharton. Pushed out of bounds inside the 5.
Keith Sims tried to make that tackle. Looked like he pulled up a little bit lame of a hamstring type thing, but they're taking him out.
Vic Wharton playing in the spot normally occupied by Chad Hansen tonight. He's gone inside and had a big game. And now Cal with a first and goal from the 3.
Oregon's struggling to figure out who to get on the field, how to get 11 men on them.
Webb on the option play. It was well read by Jimmy Swain, who took the quarterback, knocked him down, give him 1. Second and goal from the 2.
This is another big group coming in. This is the elephant group, or whatever. Big tight ends, big lead back in the backfield, big number 99. We talked about him, 310 pounds.
Nick Morris is in there. J.D. Hennett is in there, 85. And Watson couldn't get to the edge, knocked back, but still on his feet. Down to about the 1. There is a flag on the field. And an Oregon player is down also on the far side by where that flag is. That's Drayton Carlberg holding his ankle. As we check the penalty.
Illegal formation. Offense. 5 men in the back. Penalty. Replay, second down.
All right, back him up 5. Let's see.
Hard to tell from that angle.
Yeah.
What or who was misaligned.
But how do you keep his feet there?
Yeah, well, one thing, you've got to wrap up on a tackle. You can't just push him back. You got to take him to the ground.
Ooh. Carlberg went to jump up over a cut block, and it looked like his cleat got caught on the turf just for a second. Took a little bit of force on that leg. Hope the best for him. So penalties have certainly been plentiful in this game tonight for both teams. 12 for 130 yards for Cal and 14 for 134 yards for Oregon. As Carlberg will get helped off the field.
I will tell you, that's not the recipe for success.
Yes.
One of their more promising freshmen that they were really excited about, and certainly that depth is becoming an issue for both defenses tonight when you're playing your second overtime period.
Has been a tough game. Has been a game of incredible momentum swings. Cal was running away with this thing in the first half, and Oregon came storming back in the second half. Cal stalled out for a little while on offense, then got it going again. And now here we are going back and forth in overtime and in our second overtime. But if you stayed up with us, you got to see a good ball game for sure.
Every play counts in this one.
So second and goal, ball backed up to the 7-yard line for Cal. And they're going to back it up 5 more.
False start. Offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Aaron Cochran, the left tackle.
Just watch him right here. He's right on the end. See if he just moves slightly. Just little twitch there. Just trying to get that jump on that edge pass rusher.
So back to the 12-yard line.
Unfortunately, this just gives the receivers more room to work.
Throw it to Stovall. They get down to the 5-yard line. And a flag is down on the field at the 10.
I believe that was a hold against Troy Dye.
Holding, offense number 11. 10 yards from the spot of the foul, second down.
Raymond Hudson for Cal tagged with the foul, so back him up again.
Penalties, we talked about it. It's very difficult, and especially in this period where you're threatening to score easily, hoping you don't get out of field goal range. Although it is only second down.
I have to say, this is an extraordinary number of penalties. I doubt it's any kind of record, but it's been a lot. So second and goal now from the 20-yard line. Webb throws near side. How did Demetrius Robertson catch that? Had Ugo Amadi all over him and managed to fit it in.
Nice throw, though. This is great timing. Look at this throw, leading him right before the break. Tap the feet down inbounds. Young receiver making great plays in crunch time.
A true freshman, but it's still third down and goal, and they're at the 11-yard line. Webb throws across his body, off the hands of Stovall, and incomplete, and it's fourth down. And the field goal unit comes on for Cal. Now they had a chance to win it at the end of regulation, a 41-yarder with 4 seconds to go after 2 timeouts by Oregon to freeze the kicker. He kicked one at one of the timeouts that was good, but Matt Anderson slid the one and counted just wide to the left. And so now we come to the second overtime, and he has this one up and through from 28 yards. And so now the Oregon defense held Cal to a field goal, and the offense has a chance to win the game by getting into the end zone.
Obviously, no penalties, no turnovers. Execute your offense. Justin Herbert in a position to, for the first time at the college level, bring his team back to victory in an overtime game.
You said a couple things there I just want to follow up on, because I talked about the Oregon offense has a chance to win the game. The Cal defense has a chance to win the game if they can get a turnover, an interception, cause a fumble, or just plain out hold them.
Absolutely. Any takeaway, a blocked field goal, pushing them back to create a longer field goal opportunity. So, yeah, any team can win this game.
So Justin Herbert, the freshman quarterback for the Ducks, has his team lined up at the 25-yard line. They've got to get at least 3 to keep the game going. They can win it with 6. Herbert's going to run. Not for much. That was well read by Devontae Downs. Haven't called his number much at all tonight.
And as you said, they will settle for a field goal. They want a touchdown.
Herbert throws, intercepted! The game is over! Cal wins with the interception! Jordan Kunashik gets the interception for Cal off of Justin Herbert that seals the win for the Golden Bears.
Right here, right in the center of the screen. Watch what he does. Justin sort of stares this down. He looks off to one side, and he comes back, and you see Jordan coming back across, falls right in, taps it to himself. This is the tip drill that you practice every day for the defense, only he does it to himself, not from another player, and then has the understanding to get down. Don't let him strip the ball from me. This is the game. Great hands. Great job. One more look. Here's looking away. Justin doing a nice job. Herbert coming back there, but Didn't see the underneath backer slip in front of the ball.
So Jordan Kunashik, a redshirt sophomore from Roseville, California, who had no Division I offers coming out of high school, went to junior college, made himself first team all California Conference in junior college, and now has come here to Cal, and he's the hero on this night. The only turnover of the game in the second overtime. And for the young quarterback at Oregon, it'll be something very difficult to think about on the plane ride home.
And there'll be better days ahead. He acquitted himself very well tonight, but that's a tough one. That's a lesson to learn.
So Oregon remains winless in conference play, though answered some questions by their play tonight. Cal remains undefeated and gets their 4th win as they pursue bowl eligibility. Cal against USC from Los Angeles next Thursday night on ESPN. What a game in double overtime at Berkeley. Final score, Cal 52, Oregon 49. For Mike Bellotti, Chris Budden, and our entire ESPN college football crew, Alan Bestwick saying good night or good morning and sending you to SportsCenter.